Do they make violins? I guess they do make violins out of cat gut, don't they?
Supposedly. I
Or
mean,
violin strings. Maybe
I
not
have-
anymore. Maybe
I-
that's
I-
a
I
No.
feel
Yeah,
like
that's
that, yeah.
thing of the past.
probably. Kind of like making jello out of horses. At least I assume that's not still happening. I don't know.
We still
that
make
was
gelatin out of
Soap and glue.
horses. Horses are for glue. We use beef. I think it's beef bone marrow for gelatin. That's still a thing.
Well, that doesn't bother me nearly as much. Yeah.
F them cows.
Right. Exactly.
The only time I ever really get disturbed about like the things that I eat is when I see like inside shots of actual like cow processing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to get I try to buy local as much as I can. I mean, they send them through the same in terms of like when it's time to turn a cow into beef, they still go to the same place. But at least when they're the local cows just kind of live in the field and eat grass, which is what they're supposed to do.
Sure. I don't know. It's still disturbing when you see it. It's like, ooh. And then I'm like, all the German internment camps, kind of similar vibe.
Wow.
Ooh.
I know. I'm just saying. All right.
That's disturbing.
Oh, if
I know.
Chris put something in the Twitch chat now, could you click on his name and make him a mod, please, Greg?
No.
Because I'm not in the Twitch chat.
All right.
All right. I guess I need to get in
Hang
the
on.
Twitch chat.
Let me
Are
get
we
there.
live?
Hold on.
Yeah, I think we are.
Heads up. Terms of service update. All right. Thank you. Okay. Oh, look. Greg is a slacker. Well, okay, we know this.
You're a slacker, McFly.
What am I supposed to do now?
If you
I
click
can whisper
on,
back to Mr. Matthew.
Hello.
I think I need to actually do it on the.
you have to be on VOC one.
Well, but and B, I'll make him a mod at a later point. I'm not going to worry about it.
I've tried that; it don't work.
No. The problem is I am not logged in under the OC podcast.
Right, hang on a minute, man.
I think it'll be okay for now.
You sure?
You're just going to feel like an outsider, Chris. Sorry.
Okay.
My whole life. It's all good.
Hey, embrace it. So at some point you might actually get responsibilities in the show, and then
it's all over. It's all
Well,
over.
downhill from there.
it is.
All right, so pro tip. How do you all set up your screen? You got the four talking heads from Skype, and then you got something else somewhere?
There you go.
Well, I mean, yeah. So I use OBS, and then I've got basically a bunch of different screen layouts that I'll transition in between. I can share those to you. And I'm trying to remember who made the latest version. If it was you, Mark, if it was Robin, it was an iteration of. Anyway. But yeah. I suppose we could start the show. Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh,
You can get my
Mr. Matthew,
Bluetooth headphones.
congratulations. You should have a sword icon now.
Sweet.
That means you are ready to duel.
Ching, ching.
You can swing the banhammer.
I'll have swords for 300.
Swing my
That's-
hammer, all right.
S
Swords.
words.
All right. Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started. Medic! I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 830 of the Overseas Connection podcast, the NoFriendo version. Today is April 6th, 2025, and I am just one of your humble hosts, Greg DeLacy, Gamertag Murphy's Law, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. And joining me in today's fantastic podcast, it is once again a full complement of your favorite people, or not so favorite people. I don't know. But we're going to start with my romper room vision, right to left. Mr. Christopher Matthew on the show, returning champion.
Hi, everybody. Undefeated, self-proclaimed heavyweight champion of the world.
Excellent. Bringing in the overseas component of the show this week, we have Mr. Mark Wright.
Hi, Greg. Hi, everyone. Yeah, keeping the UK side of it going and keeping compliance with trading standards. I'm back again.
Guess who's back?
Outstanding. Happy to have both of you on the show. And last but certainly not least, dare I say, dabbling into OnlyFans TikTok realm, we have Miss Kim Woods. Kim Woods on the podcast.
That's only Mark that thinks that. They're not that
Pure
bad.
filth. Absolute
What?
filth.
Oh, please. What are you?
Well, we'll
Some
get
sort
to
of
that in a
prude or
bit, Kim. We'll
something?
get to that in a
Nice
bit.
filth. It's
But
good.
Kim, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
Notice I did not try to describe where any of you are located because we know that is not a strong suit.
It's okay.
I would have put you in Greenland.
Eh.
All right. Hey, we do this in
Probably
case
there are
you're
worse
new to the
places.
show. It's a video game
Mm-hmm.
podcast. We're going to talk about video games. We're going to talk about life, stuff. That's what we do. We're definitely old enough to buy our own beer. So if you are under the age, yeah, you might hear a few bad words here and there. It's not our fault.
No. Oh, just kidding.
We're old enough. We don't care. Somehow we do this podcast every Sunday, 8 p.m. in the UK. I don't know why I prioritize the UK anymore. You're no longer like friends of us. Trade wars, tariffs. We're
Well,
going to
stop
get
your
into
tariffs
that.
then.
12 p.m. on the West Coast, because that's the only time zone that really counts as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Debatable. Mr. Matthew would say 3 p.m. East Coast is the correct time zone. And then nobody cares about Canadian time where Kim's located. That's 2 p.m. Central. All right. We're on Twitch. We are on YouTube. That's where we do this thing live. So if you want, come in, check it out. Just like Boomer is in the chat.
He is.
I don't know. He is. We invited him on the show once, and he was too afraid. He was scared.
Well, I don't really blame him.
I know. But anyway, we also will do an
Apparently,
audio
he
version of
said
this podcast.
Apparently, he said he saw some of Kim's TikToks and that put him off.
Oh, he's already seen it. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind. He's
It's-
not a prude
it's-
like Mark.
It's when
Although,
Kim...
Mark bitches, but Mark watches.
Oh,
so-
Mark,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Mark would subscribe. By the way,
Oh,
we are
okay.
Patreon free and Terra free on this podcast because it's produced in the U.S. So there we go. All right. We will have an audio version of this podcast just in case you want to listen to it outside of the YouTubes and the Twitches. You can get on the treadmill in the morning and listen to our dulcet tones. Like Robin Williams, that's not going to happen. He's not listening anymore. Robin Tate
Well, I
might
mean, it
listen.
might be.
Robin Williams definitely would have a hard time listening. All right. No birthdays to talk about, I believe. No? None?
I don't think so, no.
You know what? That's not true. We have one very important birthday. It's happening on
Oh.
Monday, and that is my son.
Oh,
16 years old.
Wow.
holy moly.
I know.
Oh,
Don't,
happy
don't seem
birthday.
2 minutes when he was born, does it?
Golly.
It
That doesn't
is
seem possible
nuts.
somehow.
Yeah. That also tells you how long this podcast has been going because he was born just before we actually kind of took this on in earnest. So, yeah. That
Well,
that
happy
just makes
birthday.
everybody feel old right now. You're welcome. Happy birthday! All right, let's dive into it, guys.
Everyone here loves story time, our favorite time of the day.
I refuse to pay Mark 25% more, by the way, Mr. Matthew. Refuse. Equal tariffs across the board. That's all I ask. All right. Where do we want to start? Somebody raise your hand. Somebody raise your hand and tell me you want to talk about your crap first. All right, Mr. Matthew, well done.
Since nobody else was volunteering,
I
I'll
know.
be the guy. Story
Yeah.
time will be pretty short for me this week. Good news. My kids, who are not 16 but 12 and 14, which also makes me feel old. They had their first track and field meet this week. It was
Nice.
a lot of fun. The younger one did long jump and shot put, and watching
Wow.
12-year-olds do shot put is it's a thing. It's a thing. They don't have them like spinning around like they do at the Olympics at that age. They just
Not
kind
yet.
of wind up and
Yeah.
throw it like a baseball, which is good. The older one did high jump and long jump, and then the 400 meters, which he won
Wow.
the 400 meters. So that was pretty
Nice.
cool. So they had a good time. I'm glad they're both enjoying track and field. Gets them out running around for an hour and a half every day. So that's great.
Outstanding. I
Yeah.
love that. By the way,
Proud.
the shot put. So yes, I would agree. It's not something you would think would be in like kids track and field, but I applaud it. I also think very smartly they are not letting them spin yet because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that's a disaster waiting to happen.
Somebody's going to fall over. Yeah.
Mhm.
They only throw. So of course they don't throw javelin. I think maybe they should try it. Just see what happens. No javelin, just shot put and discus. They don't
Blunt
do
objects.
the full
Blunt
yeah,
objects.
yeah, and they don't do the full 360 spinning. But they're introducing them to all the events. Every athlete on the middle school track team practices all the events. So I think that's great. They figure out what they're good at. They can specialize later.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember
proud
early
parents.
80s in the UK. We used to do javelin, and then a kid got impaled and killed, and then it stopped. The
Well-
UK banned javelins in schools. And that
That
was
There we
would,
go.
82,
That would
83.
be a good reason not to have the
No,
javelin.
83, 84, yeah.
I don't
So-
know how many kids were permanently maimed by lawn darts in the 80s before those got
Right?
outlawed, but
Yeah.
we had
We
them
still
for a
have
good
some of
long
those
time.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Greatest
Uh,
game, but yeah,
yeah.
highly dangerous, especially in
It's
the
like
hands of the youngins.
let's take a heavy, sharp object and give a bunch of adults standing out in the sun drinking beer. What could go wrong?
By the way, can
Uh,
somebody please ban Boomer? I'm not happy with his
Why?
comments in the chat.
Yeah, but he's
Uh-oh.
not wrong, is he?
No, he's not. Fuck.
Hey?
All right, keep going.
There's no lies. There's no
All right.
lies.
Fine.
No lies
We
there.
won't ban him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the frustrating news is in a musical tone. The heat is off. I don't know what's going on with the heat in our house, but this is the third time this winter that it's gone out.
Wow.
Which is why you see me with the hoodie and the
I
jacket.
thought you were just making a
because
fashion statement.
I mean, it's that too, but it's a little chilly in the house, so we're all bundling up. We have steam radiators and gas that heats the water, and usually it works real nice. The house is nice and toasty, but when the gas goes out, no more heat. But we'll get it fixed this week, and then the heat will be on, and you can all have that earworm all week. You're welcome.
So I feel slightly bad. Part of my discussion was just going to be about spring is definitely here because we're enjoying 75 degrees outside right now.
Yeah,
Been quite nice here as well, Greg.
we had some nice weather last week, and then a cold front blew in. That's kind of April around here. It depends on which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Anything else, Mr. Matthew, or is
That's story time for me.
okay? Fair enough. If you need to go refill a thermos with some hot liquid, I totally understand. We'll transition over the pond, Mr. Mark.
Yeah, I started watching something new on TV. On Amazon Prime, there's a new series out called Last One Laughing. And there's different versions. Obviously, I'm watching the UK one, but I know there's an Ireland one. I know there's an Australian one. I don't know about if you over at the other side of the pond's got it. But it's quite funny. So it's basically they throw in 10 comedians into a room for 6 hours, and they're not allowed to laugh. And the last one left in there wins. It's like a battle royale for not laughing. And someone got kicked out within the first 5 minutes because they're just trying to make each other laugh, and it's just hilarious. And a lot of them are like setting off their own hand grenades and taking themselves out because they'll try and make someone else laugh, and they'll just start laughing themselves. So
I was just going to say,
it's
does it
just-
count if you're laughing at yourself?
Oh, you can't even smile.
Oh,
it's
okay.
really
Wow,
strict.
really?
Yeah, he can't even smile.
I'd be
So
screwed.
some of the faces are pulling like it's just hilarious to watch. It's
I
so
would
funny.
fail. I would fail at that hard.
So there's some I don't know how well you guys know some of the UK comedians, but there's Joe Lycett, Joe Wilkinson, and there's Jimmy Carr's presenting it. He's
Okay.
quite funny. Who else is in there? There's a few people you might know. There's a few even I don't know. But one of the most famous ones he was in the IT Crowd, Richard Adoade. He played Moss in IT Crowd.
Yeah, I love that.
He is very good at this game. He's very good at this game.
I mean, to be Moss in the IT Crowd, you'd have to be good at this game, right?
Yeah,
Like he has some
yeah.
of the wildest lines
Yeah.
and just deadpans it. It looks like this show has a version in every country but the United States.
Yeah. I think there's a
apparently
Canadian one, isn't there?
There is, but
Yeah.
they're not going to send it to us.
Well, Kim's
the
all
way
right.
things are going around here. We got to pay. We got to pay extra for all the shows coming from anywhere else.
But yeah, so if I do laugh or smile, they get a yellow card, and then if I laugh again on a yellow, then they get a red, and then they're out. So I'm on episode 4 now, getting quite into it, and they've all got yellows, and about 4 of them have been kicked out already. So it's getting quite interesting now. Richard was the last to get a yellow. That's how good he is at this. So he's really good. But yeah, it's
What
good
do they
watch.
win?
A trophy. I know the Ireland one. They win €50,000 for their charity of choice, but we haven't said about the UK one. We're just tight bastards.
Okay, charity of choice though. Okay, I'm all for charitable giving. Don't get me wrong, but anytime I hear like a competition where they're like charity of your choice, to win, I feel like there's no stakes in it.
Yeah,
They
but
still
a lot
don't
of
care.
a lot of like TV celebrities, and that, they're like ambassadors for like their local charities, aren't they? A lot of them are. So, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
you're not going to really feel bad on missing out.
Oh no. No.
All right.
50 grand. Who cares? Yeah. And the other thing is my graphics card came on Friday, and oh boy, that was fun to fit. So it was so tight getting in the case. That sounds rude. Kim will enjoy that. Yeah, it is. It's 331 millimeters long, and my case is about 335 millimeters long. I had to take part of the frame part out of it, which does unscrew, luckily, because I did bring home my little Milwaukee fucking angle grinder cutter thing just
May I
in
ask a
case.
question?
I was going to do stuff properly. Yeah.
Had you thought of that before you bought this?
Yes, I did measure it,
Okay.
and I thought that's why I brought the angle grinder home. I thought it's fucking going in one way or another. Right, by the UK. So now this thing there's a new style connector on some graphics cards. I know the 5090 has it, which is a 12-pin, 12-volt connector, whereas the older cards have like the 8 pins, and we can have 2 or 3 of them on it. But you get an adapter in the graphics card box, so you get the 12-pin, and it flies off 3 leads to 3 8-pins. Luckily, when I got my PC, I got some extra cables, because I don't know if you know, Greg. You won't know because your PC's fucking ancient. But power supplies these days are modular, and you can plug in cables as you need them. They're not all like spewing out in one bunch. So I had a spare cable which had 2 8-pins on it. My old graphics card had an 8-pin, so there were my 3 8-pins. Right, still with me? So before you fit the graphics card, I plugged all the connectors on, and then I forced it in. It's, when you're packing a suitcase for your holiday and you're just jamming everything in, you're trying to close the zip. It was like that. Right, so I got the graphics card in, got it all bolted down. Thought, right, okay, here we go. I'm going to fire it up. Press the power button. The power light was flashing white and red. The screen wasn't doing anything, and it would not post, which is that on-screen self-testing. And I'm thinking, shit. I tried it again, nothing. So I did a quick Google on my phone, and it says, oh yeah, sometimes because the card's that big, they don't seat in the PCI slot properly. So I took it out the PCI slot, and I slotted it back in again. I heard a good click. Tried again, nothing.
When that happens.
Oh,
Yeah,
nothing still. Nothing. Okay.
By this time, I'm sweating, I'm panicking, I'm swearing, I'm thinking, fucking hell, all that money's, oh my God, I've got to send it
I
back.
broke it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so I thought, right, I'll take the card fully out again and double check everything. As I took the card out, one of the 8 pins had popped off, and that was causing it. So I put I put this popped off connector back in, made sure it clips properly. It was like a clasp clip. Clipped that back in, popped it back in the PCI slot, put one screw in to hold it temporarily, just put in the power cord, the USB mouse and keyboard, and the one HDMI lead, powered it up, and it fired up. Thank God for that. So yeah, I panic over, and then it was
have
like,
you made the temporary screw permanent now, or is this
oh
just...
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, then once it fired up, I turned it off again. I put all the screws in.
Permanently screwed.
This thing
Permanently
takes up.
screwed.
Like, do you know on the back of a computer you got your slots for your different
Right.
cards? This takes up 3 slots. That's how big it is. Right. So I put all the screws in. It comes with a special angled bracket which goes on 4 screws on the case, and it comes underneath, and it's got a little adjustable post to hold the graphics card up because it's that fucking heavy.
Yeah.
I know some of the Power Color ones come with a post with an adjustable screw. This one's got a big bracket. So I put the bracket on. I don't know if yours has got that, Chris.
Yep, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I put this bracket on.
Now I
GPU
have
sag. It's a big deal, you know.
a layman's question to ask.
Yeah.
Because it's a 12-pin coupling,
Yeah.
but you're forcing into an 8-pin coupling. Are
Yeah.
you in fact not getting all of the coupling pin power you could out of your graphics card?
I've no idea how it works. The 12-pin one is a smaller configuration to the 8 pins. It's weird how it works. It's a new design of multi-plug, but there are 3 lots of power going to these 3 pins. So there's 3 lots of power going into one. So it's like ramming the power in. I don't know.
I think
it works
I think
anyway.
the answer to your question, Greg, is you are getting the ample. You're getting enough power. It has to do with how many watts each connection on the back of the power supply is capable of sending.
Gotcha.
And so that's why you need to use 3 so that you get, because each connection has a maximum of however many watts it can send. And so yeah. The answer is yes. Short answer.
So I've actually, I don't know if people didn't listen to last week, I haven't even said what graphics card is. So I have changed from NVIDIA to AMD.
You've gone to the
my
dark side.
46, my 4060
Or the Rebel Alliance,
Ti,
depending upon how you want to look at this.
Team Red.
my 4060 Ti has now been removed, and I have now got an AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT, which is the latest AMD one. And I got the Sapphire brand, and it's the Sapphire Nitro Plus, which is their top of the range one, because it's only one they had in stock. Otherwise, I'd have to wait till May. And then I proceeded for the next 3 or 4 hours to set it up, play about with the settings, test some games. Oh boy, what a difference! The frame rates have shot up. Visuals are stunning. The game's automatically set itself to epic now. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy.
Lord points out an important thing, and I think this is actually reflecting back on life and getting older.
Saggy bottoms.
Yeah, you need the GPU bar to keep things from sagging. I think that's an important life lesson.
It happens. It happens.
So I've now got an
for the record, by the way, Mark,
4060 Ti for sale if anyone wants it.
even if I bought a new computer, all of the things you just described to me, I still would have no clue.
Yeah.
The beauty of it is it all only fits one kind of way. There's only, like, when you go to put a graphics card in, there's only one thing on the motherboard that looks like the thing that connects a graphics card, and there's only one thing on the motherboard that looks like the place where you put RAM.
And in fairness, that is a massive improvement from back in the day. Because back in the day, it all looked the fucking same. All right, Kim, do you have issues with a sagging GPU?
No, I do not.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
By the way, Kim, you inspired me. I just want to point out
I did.
the haircut thing. Yeah, just saying.
Oh.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody got haircuts.
I'll be damned.
I need
Well,
a shave.
congratulations. I needed the haircut. It was awful.
I don't wanna say
Anyway,
anything.
before I get started on that, it is the first of the month, so you know what that means. It's Greg's favorite part of the show.
All right.
Well, you know what?
Go
You
ahead.
asshole started me on this. You wouldn't let me go, so it's all your fault.
Actually,
right,
I
so
believe
for-
Robin.
Probably.
Potato!
Yeah.
Yeah, there
It
you go. So for this month, we have Ben and Camembert. So there you go, Ben and Camembert.
He's no Gale, is he,
Ben-
Kim?
No, he is not. But
I think Kim just likes putting these pictures up to make us all feel incredibly bad about our fitness levels.
Oh yeah, that's it. You caught me.
Yep.
So
He's
there's
cooking
that.
that pussy well, though, isn't he?
Oh Jesus Christ!
Did you just snort?
Hey!
She did just
No.
snort.
All right. Anyway, oh geez.
Boomer said he's got one too. What a pussy. Oh no, a haircut, it says. She's gone.
I know.
I knew it wouldn't take much. She's gone.
Mark
Oh,
feels safe
shit,
because he
thanks,
has a large body of water separating him from the rest of us.
Yeah. Shotgun won't reach you, so.
For
Oh,
now.
gee, Christmas. All right. Anyway, as was discussed, I got a haircut. Thank God. Got the gray covered up for at least another few weeks before I have to do it again. I got a cold. If I sound a little weird, it's because I have a cold. It showed up last night, and well, still here, despite the fact I've been taking cough syrup for it. Which brings me to another funny thing.
Okay,
Canadian
wait.
cough
You
syrup.
just dove right into cough syrup. It was like,
Right.
I got a cold. I'm not even going to try and wait it out. I'm just going for it. I'm
Nope.
going.
No, I am not waiting.
Okay.
You're talking to somebody who's had COVID and flu, and yeah, I'm not giving it any fucking, it's gonna die. So,
For the record, Mark,
anyway.
that was my phone dropping on my keyboard.
I wondered what that was. I thought somebody was having a stroke or something.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what
In
the
our
hell was
notes,
going
by
on.
the way, just for the behind the scenes look, suddenly a massive amount of P's and I think end parentheses showed up on the screen for us,
Something like
and
that, yeah.
that was me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I'm glad that was covered up because I thought maybe Mark was having a stroke or something, and we needed to take a moment. I don't know. He got all excited about pussies and haircuts, and I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I've got a cold. I went right for the cough syrup, which it's spring. We don't have a very good selection of cough syrup, but here about a year ago, I don't know if you guys remember, but yeah, I got the flu. I bought. The Mucinex wasn't cutting it, and I read online or something somewhere this cough syrup called Buckley's. Well, apparently it's made in Toronto, Canada. So when I went on Amazon to buy some, they had to ship it here from Canada. So
Tariffs.
Is that pre-tariff?
Right? Well, this is pre-tariff because this was last year. So anyway, the funny thing about this well, not really funny, but this freaking cough syrup, I swear to God, tastes, and I don't know what pine tar tastes like, but the smell of pine. This is kind of what I get from this fucking cough syrup. It is the worst tasting cough syrup I have ever had in my entire life, but it seems to work. So I don't know, but I'm assuming Canadians don't have taste buds because this stuff is fucking horrid.
They drink it with maple syrup.
Yeah.
Apparently, they have to because oh my God, it is. And I mean, admittedly, cough syrup does not taste the greatest, but sometimes they at least try to make it somewhat palatable. But this crap, oh God, no! Like I said, this tastes just like I would think pine tar would taste like. But it seems to work. So anyway, yeah, Buckley's cough syrup.
Okay, so now I have questions for the group. I don't know.
Okay.
So my mindset with medication is I don't necessarily want it to taste good.
Well, true.
Because I don't want to keep taking it, so I don't want to be encouraged to just keep drinking it. It's actually one of it's the one thing about Pepto-Bismol that actually scares me because I really like the flavor of Pepto-Bismol. I could just drink a bottle and be like happy, but I think that would have bad ramifications on my.
Oh,
yeah,
more than likely.
Yeah, probably not great.
Yeah, no, not at all. So anyway, there was that. On another, I guess, taste testing adventure, Boomer had sent me a bottle of Old Bay seasoning because we got in that discussion about like what to put on your popcorn, what to put on your French fries.
Yes.
So this was my next deal. I haven't tried it on popcorn yet, but I did try it on tater tots because that was the only thing closest to French fries I had.
Okay.
And it is very good. I am impressed.
So I don't know if I talked to you, Kim, about this. So when you brought it up before,
Right.
we
Right.
talked about it, and
Mhm.
right after the show, I kid you not,
Mhm.
I'm talking to my wife, and she was talking about we should get some Old Bay seasoning for popcorn because she heard it was good on it. Unrelated
Wow.
to our discussion. So I was like, okay,
Right.
apparently we need to get some Old Bay seasoning.
Right.
We haven't
So
not
did
got
you
it
get
yet.
some?
No, not yet.
Ah, all right. Well, maybe
I'm a
Boomer will
salt
be
and
nice
pepper
and
kind
send
of
you
guy.
some,
That's what
I
I
guess.
like on my. Actually, salt and
Right.
pepper on, by the way, popcorn is pretty good too. But yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
salt for sure. I've never tried pepper on popcorn, but yeah.
I
I
tried
do
it
know
once.
people that will
No.
never again.
Not a fan.
Okay.
Ah. Well,
Old Bay though.
not everybody then. All right. And last but not least, because everybody knows I've started working out again, and believe it or not, I can do weighted glute bridges now. I could never do them fucking things, and I hate them with a passion
For the
because
record,
when I
you need to describe glute bridges first off, and then weighted glute
Right.
bridges on top of that, because I know I did not know what the hell these were up until you
Really?
showed me the screenshot of them. Yes.
I figured you would have known what those were, you being the big gym rat that you are, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Not something I had tried
I'll be
before.
damned. I know these things because back when I had surgery years and years and years ago, when I went to physical therapy, I had to do these things, and I hated them. I just
Okay.
looked at the woman while I'm laying there on the floor trying, because basically what you do is you lay on the floor, you have your your knees up, and basically what you're doing is picking your ass up off the floor, and you've got to hold it for so many seconds before you let it go again. And of course, I've got a disability, and it involves my legs, and it was the worst fucking thing in the world. I looked at this woman and goes, you know what? It's not even worth my time. She's like, can you even do one? And I think I finally managed to do one. But like I had like a month worth of physical therapy, and I kid you not, I was lucky if I did a half a dozen of those things during the entire, physical therapy stint. But anyway, in my little workout app the other day, they had these glute bridge things, and you had dumbbells, and you did a chest press while you were holding the fucking glute bridge. Now, for me, when I started, there was no fucking way that was going to happen. I was going to end up dropping the fucking dumbbell on my head before I could even do those two things together, right? But no, the other day, I actually managed to do it. They were not pretty, and I didn't drop a dumbbell on my head, thank God, obviously. But I did them, and I did, I don't know, 5? Or I certainly didn't do as many as the guy on the workout app, because, well, he does them all the fucking time, apparently. So yeah, glute bridges, weighted glute bridges, no less. I can do them now. So there you go.
Okay.
Anyway.
By
Nobody
the
cares,
way,
but
on
there you
those
go.
apps, I always kind of get a little bit of a laugh because these guys, they're like completely chiseled out, or the women too.
Right.
It doesn't matter. And they're like,
Right.
these can be a little difficult to do. And I'm like,
Meanwhile,
not
they're
for
ripping
you.
off
You're
half a
making it
dozen
look
of them
easy,
in like
but yeah.
5 seconds. Yeah, right. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there going, yeah, there's no way with my balance and heavy weights that's gonna happen. So
Okay.
that's a recipe for disaster. But anyway, that's been my week so far. So
Yeah, so I've
see how it
seen a
goes.
lot of people not necessarily doing the glute bridge as far as like being on the ground.
right.
But the big thing at the gym that I go to, I think every woman goes in there and decides she wants to do weighted pelvic thrusts, which
Oh dear. Yeah, I've seen those too, and I'm
yeah, it's
While
something.
filming themselves. There's a camera set up in the corner.
No, we don't allow cameras in the gym, thank God. That is
Oh,
annoying.
boy.
That is annoying. Yeah. Typically speaking, by the way, when you see somebody that's filming themselves, I think usually they're in a private gym. Like a
I go out of the way to walk in front of the camera. If I see somebody filming themselves, I'm
Nice.
gonna walk
Yeah.
in front of the camera, or do something stupid in the background.
Yeah.
Like you stand
There
right
you
in front
go.
of him and just start scratching
Yeah.
your balls.
Go somewhere
Hey, there you
else.
go.
This is a public gym. Go
yeah,
somewhere else.
I don't see a
Ugh.
lot of people doing that at like 24 Fitness or Planet Fitness, but I imagine like some of those smaller, kind of more clicky gyms, they probably do a lot more of that. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
luckily I'm fortunate at the gym I go to, nobody's filming themselves in there, so that's good.
I certainly don't film myself because nobody needs to see that. Same reason I don't stream when I play Xbox. So nope.
I think we all though should film ourselves doing some glute bridges next weekend, and
There you go. Let's see how your progress is. If you can do more than 5.
Then we
Yeah.
can all have America's ass. Except for Mark. Mark will be Britain's
So you
ass.
stick
Yes.
tariffs on it.
this is timely, by the way, glute conversation. My mom pulled her glute which I heard
Oh
a very long-winded story about last night as I was trying to have dinner.
no.
Mom just,
Oh wow.
and then my mom was trying to convince me to come up and help her reestablish her Amazon app, or a Dot. I don't want to say the name because it's staring right in front of me and it'll start talking back to me.
Yeah.
But like I'm not driving 2.5 hours just to reconnect, your Wi-Fi for your Dot. There's a
smart
fix for
speaker.
this. I'll walk you through it. And as far as I know, it's fixed. I don't know. It's a phone call I have to make today. I'm kind of dreading making that phone call. But yeah.
There you go. I don't blame you. I know the feeling.
Uh,
Like me trying to explain anything to my dad that's technologically,
yeah. It's not fun.
inclined. It is not.
Anything else, Kim?
No,
Okay,
that's it for
all
me. Like I said, it's been a pretty quiet week on
Yeah,
things.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Not so quiet a week for me. New job started. So
Yeah,
far
how's that
so
going?
good. It is interesting going into it. It's a much bigger company, so I'm not used to corporate world again, which that's taking a little getting used to. Mr. Matthew, I'm sure you can equate your role in the government machine. There's a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of things you have to do. So I'm getting inundated with a lot of that. I did watch Daredevil Born Again. I thought it was just like, I honestly thought they cliffhangered the end of episode 6. Nope, turns out there's more episodes. So episode 7 just released. Really good. Still very much enjoying Daredevil Born Again. Highly recommend.
How many episodes are there in total? Do you know? Was it 8?
I'm going to guess 8.
Yeah.
8
So I'm waiting
seems
till
like
they're all out.
Yeah.
I'm going to binge them all when they're all out.
Yeah, well, they're pretty much almost all out then. So
Yeah,
you've got
good.
one more week, I think, to go.
Good.
But yeah, Sync 8. My
Did you get
sync.
it sorted?
No,
Oh,
no. So turns out not a simple fix.
Did they send you a new tap out? Oh, sorry, faucet.
So that was the plan, and I've also come to the realization where I was calling into the call center, likely not located in the U.S., not located typically what you would think would be India, because that's where a lot of call centers tend to be.
All right,
Nope.
well, you want a guy called Steven?
No, I did have a Tim, but I'm 99% positive that was not his actual native name.
right.
But yeah, so pretty sure it's Mexico.
All right.
Hmm.
Every time I've called in, I'm like,
That wall's not working then, is it?
well, maybe it is working because they're. I don't know.
Faucet's still not here yet.
So I call in. I'm like, hey, I just want to make sure you guys are sending out the spout because that's what I need. The spout for the faucet. Because when I said originally I was saying faucet in my head, thinking that was the spout. No, the faucet's the entire kit. And so I don't need the handles.
Just sending you the spout for the faucet.
Yeah, I don't need the
Gotcha, all right.
connectors. I just need the spout because there's the
Gotcha.
problem is inside of the spout.
Oh,
Men, check your spout. You never know. You don't want to have a leaky spout.
somebody with
So
a leaky spout.
I got a package, and so I got an. Let me back up. Sorry, this is bad storytelling. I will back up a second. So I got an email from them confirming that my order had been received and at the warehouse, and that I would be getting another email once it's shipped with my tracking number. All good? We're good. Okay. Progress. Couple days go by, no email. So finally Friday, I'm like, let me just call, double check it's actually been sent or it's gonna be sent. So I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we've sent it." And I'm like, "Well, I never got a tracking number." And he's like, "Okay, well let me give you the tracking number." So he gives me the tracking number. Literally, as I'm talking to him, a UPS truck pulls up. I'm like, "Okay." Package showed up. I'm like, "Okay." Well, I had written down the tracking number. I'm like, "Fine." Go to the UPS package that's now at my doorstep. I open that up. No spout. It's
Nope.
the two connectors that go into the handles.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
like, okay. So at that point, though, when I checked it, their call center had already closed down. So I had to call the next morning, talk to the person. I'm like, hey, you guys sent me 2 things that I don't need. I need the spout. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, let me double check. And in the meantime, I had also run the tracking number the guy gave me. It's non-existent. And I read it back to the guy. So I don't know what the hell that was for. But so turns out the spout's on back order, won't be shipped until April 20th. So in the meantime, I have spare parts for a sink if anybody needs it. And
You could have let them just send you a full unit out. You could just.
I was gonna say, I think I would have just went to Home Depot at this point and bought a new faucet.
Yeah, but they're not cheap. So there's that. And
No,
it has
they're
to
not,
match.
but-
It has to, because it's part of a dual sink. My wife's like, well, why don't you just have them, ship out 2 faucets? I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. They're not going to just ship 2 different faucets just because we want to have matching. So we're just waiting. We're waiting.
Gotcha. Well,
I have
hopefully
use
it's
of the
better
one
luck
sink,
next time.
but I
Meanwhile, you have to go out to the well and get water. Is that what's going on?
No, so there's 2 sinks. They're side by side. It's the double vanity in the master bathroom.
Imagine Greg walking home from the well with a bucket on his head.
There's a big jug of water on his head.
That actually reminds me of. Do you remember the ice challenges? The ice water
Yes.
challenges.
Oh, yeah.
I
the
did
ice
that.
ice bucket.
Yeah. Anyway, I keep forgetting the sink is not working. I constantly go up, I go to pull the water, and I'm like, nope, no water coming out. This morning, I spit mouthwash into the sink, thinking I could wash it. Nope. So yeah, at least it's all
lean over to
connected
the
up,
other
so it's not
sink
leaking
and,
everywhere. But yeah,
By the time you get it fixed, you'll be used to it not working, and
I
then
know.
you won't use that. We have a light switch that just stopped working, and it's been maybe 3 days, and every time I walk in that room, flip the switch, just expecting, this time the light's going to come on. No, nope. So yeah, add that to the list.
yeah. All right. I guess that's pretty much it for me. Yeah. So we can talk some video games. What do you say,
Video
kids?
games.
Today I feel like playing computer games. Today I feel like playing computer games.
Now, before we get into the video games, yes.
Are you skipping past the community question?
No, I'm not. I'm getting to the. See, Mark, this is how this works. I lead the show. You just follow.
Right.
I will
So
get
you
you
just
there.
like to.
I
jump
will lead
ahead
you to the
of the
promised
notes.
land,
You're
my
not
friend. I
following
will
the
lead you
notes.
to the
Right,
promised
okay,
land.
I get it. Chaos.
Don't take that from
Chaos.
him, Mark. You're put in the overseas and overseas connection. You do what you want.
Yeah. Fuck trading standards. I'm not in next week.
Oh, Mark's just looking for another way to embarrass me. That's all. He knows the question.
Kim.
That's all. He
Great
just wa-
question. It's an absolutely great question.
Yeah, this is for you, Kim. So I feel like this is your
I know.
question.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Please, Kim.
Oh, you're going to make me read out my own question. then
Absolutely,
answer it. Is
because
that it?
my question is for Gamer Girl 27. So therefore, we'll tell you what, Kim. I will read the question to you.
Okay, thanks. 'Cause
Okay.
this is, oh, Jesus Christ. The things.
Kim, this is from Amaranth,
I know.
who we all should know as Nicole. Loves us dearly.
Yeah.
We love Nicole.
She also
back.
likes to watch my TikToks, so,
There's a theme here. Kim, now that you and the wizard
Oh,
are an
God.
item, will you be conquering other characters, or is this true love? Oh, and what was up with that weird murder frog? So, multiple questions here, Kim. I think maybe we should tackle
Okay.
this from front back to front. Sorry, I know we're talking about love and all, but the murder frog. Talk to me about the murder frog.
All right. I went to the swamp, and I'm sure CP Matthew knows what I'm talking about. Where the hag lives, and I can do the whole speak with animals thing like instantly now. So I thought, well, what the hell? I'll go talk to the frog because I talked to it before, and it didn't really do anything. So anyway, I wanted to talk to the frog, and it kept telling me about green leaves, shallow water, and I mean, the poor thing just sounded like just agonizing, And then next thing I know, it's like kill, and I'm like, uh-oh. I've apparently fucked up somewhere. And I shit you not, I went too far when I talked to it the first time. So we got into battle with it. And I kid you not, between me, Astarion, Gale, and Karlach, it almost killed me and Astarion just because it would throw acid at us and it would deflect our attacks back at us. So I save scummed out of that and went back to it the second time to talk to it again. And then I left. Well, come to find out, the hag had actually turned a person into this frog, and that was the problem. So yeah, that's why the murder frog was going to murder us. Yeah.
Weirdly, I have like a vision in my head of Monty Python, the Holy Grail, and the rabbit.
Yeah, that's kind of what this was. Yeah, run away. Because, like I said, it pretty much almost killed at least two of us. Because I kept Gale far enough away, he could still do his magic thing, but he wasn't going to get, bonkered.
All right.
But yeah, me and Astarion almost got wiped out by this fucking frog.
Only one person allowed to bonk Gale, isn't there?
Kim.
Damn right. Okay.
Important questions now, Kim.
Mark, I swear to God.
The real meat of this question. So, are you exclusive with the wizard, or is this like an open relationship?
No, because he doesn't play that game. So yeah, no, it's
This is not about him, Kim. This is about you. Your desires, Kim.
Have you met the Drow twins yet? Because then that's
I did. I drug him through to the Drow twins, and at first he was like, "No, I'm not interested." But the third time around, he's like, "Okay." He says, "I'll go and watch." So yeah, we did that, and kinky. I haven't put it on. Yeah. Okay. Oh, but what's worse is when you get him in there, he like flips out, he runs off, but his little astral projection is still there. And he's like, he's like, I'm anatomically correct. His little astral projection is like, oh, I'm all anatomically correct. And then you hear Gale in the background going, I'll just stay over here. I'm like, oh, okay, you little kinky bastard. So you won't actually participate, but you will watch. All right. So there you go. The things I do for video game science.
I'm loving just watching Greg listen to this story. Like, just brain is just melting. Like, I don't even know how to handle this.
But Greg's played this game.
I know. I have played Baldur's Gate 3. I've just not delved into the romance component of it. But Kim.
But how far have you actually got in this game? That's my question.
Not very far. Not very far.
So
yeah.
So yes, we've gotten to the Drow twins.
It's on my Steam Deck. Remember the thing that I forgot? It's right underneath my desk.
That you forgot about. Yeah. No. So no, right now I'm still with Gale, and second playthrough I'm still with Gale. So I don't know. Astarion bugs me because he's so hard to get approval with anyway, and then half the time he's insulting you. So it's like, you know what? You could just be my bitchy best friend. But technically, I might actually go after Karlach at some point because I do like her for some strange reason. I don't know.
Okay.
So, we'll see. Yeah.
So not necessarily exclusive. That's the
Well,
breaking news that we're getting from here. Kim has a wandering eye.
How many more playthroughs I go through yet? But yeah, so far.
Kim has a wandering eye. Okay. There we go. All right.
Okay.
Before we get into what we have been playing, there is a small list of games for April, Kim.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't got all of April yet because they're not all out yet. At least I don't think. I haven't seen them. So, for your PS Plus games for April, which is the ones I've got. And God, this annoys me because I bought at least one of these games, and here it is on this. But it's like Game Pass all over again.
Wait, hold on. We need to just read through the games, and then I think the three of us need to guess which game you bought.
Okay, we'll do that. All right. Okay, so your PS Plus for April is RoboCop: Rogue City, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Digimon Story: Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. That's a title and a half. So I haven't got, like I said, I haven't got the rest of them up yet, but I will for next show probably.
All right,
so,
Mark.
There you go.
Which game do you think Kim bought out of the three of these?
RoboCop.
Mr. Matthew?
I don't think she's a Digimon person.
Yeah. I agree. I'm going to go with RoboCop.
RoboCop seems like the right answer. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory should be the correct answer just based on title alone. I'm going to say Texas Chainsaw Massacre just because Kim has a dark side to her.
Why do people think that? I don't know. No, it is RoboCop because Texas Chainsaw would totally creep the shit out of me, and Digimon is not my thing.
If it was a Texas Raccoon Massacre, then that might be different.
See, Mark knows. No, it's RoboCop because it's actually the original RoboCop and the whole 9 yards. So that that was the appeal. But
the original characters and everything else, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
so-
nearly bought this as well, so I'm glad I didn't really, because I can get to play it for nothing if my
I
PS5
know.
gets fucking turned on again.
Well, see,
Poor
that's the
thing's
problem.
neglected.
Yeah, see, you should do something about that. So
I
yeah,
turned my Xbox on today for the first time in God knows how long.
about time. So
Yeah.
so those are your free games. So
Okay.
yeah, I should just stop buying fucking games at this point.
No, Kim, we actually need you to buy games because when you buy
Yeah,
games,
because
they
then we
go
get
on
them for
sale.
no.
Right, right.
Uh,
Well, apparently, Dragon Age is supposed to be coming to Game Pass, so there you go. Apparently. Oh, Jesus, Murphys.
all right, Kim. We might as well just talk about your romance stuff. Get that out of the way.
Oh, for
Go
fuck's
ahead.
sake. All right.
Let's talk through
Well,
Baldur's
actually,
Gate
there isn't a whole-
romance.
Well, there isn't a whole lot of that this go around. I did recruit Minsk and his miniature giant space hamster Boo.
He's a weird character.
I know, but he's funny.
Yeah.
He's the poor feller. And it was difficult actually for me because you're supposed to knock him out, and I tried that with Minthara and ended up killing her, so that didn't work. So I went through this whole thing with Jahara. She was in the group at the time, and I knew if I killed him, of course, that was going to piss her off. So I kept beating it. It was funny because somehow or another I ended up with like 4 wizard staffs, whatever, in my inventory. So me and Karlach switched out what we were using with those because I figured we could at least, we probably wouldn't kill him with those. Hopefully those would just knock him out. And that's pretty much what we did the time when we found him, was we just sit there and beat the shit out of him with these wizard staffs. And actually it worked because his health was getting pretty low, and I was kept being paranoid, going, oh God, we're gonna kill him and I have to start this shit all over again. But thankfully, no, it didn't. We recruited him and his space hamster. So that's fun because the poor guy, his poor brain's just, I don't know how to describe it. His little brain's just addled or something. I don't know, but it's hilarious as hell. I did Shadowheart's quest, and I really kind of thought I fucked it up, but the more I read about it today, I guess I kind of got the good ending, I guess you'd say. So, and it was still terribly sad, but there you go. I don't feel the need to go back and redo it, which is great because the boss fight for that one, the boss herself wasn't actually bad to beat, but then she had like 14 fucking Sharon disciples with her, and those were a total pain in the ass because even though I brought extra team members with me, by the time it was all over and done with, there were still at least 3 of us that were almost dead. But the tip, if you're ever do this boss fight, Mark, this may be of interest to you since you're going to play this game at some point. When you go in there, have your wizard or whoever can, does your spells, cast Wall of Fire and like all those big ones like, Sleet Storm and some others, because I kid you not, for as many as those are, you can pretty much bottleneck them into going into one fucking area. And when they do, they walk right into the wall of flames, and I can't speak. But anyway, they will walk right into the wall of flames and barbecue themselves, and that's it. So that takes out about half of them. So then that way you're only left with, half of them that you actually have to do something about. So that made it a little easier once I figured that out. But holy moly, that was a real pain. That was worse than going in and doing a Starian's deal with a vampire lord and all his little minions. So yeah, other than that, we played some Call of Duty multiplayer this week. And that's about it.
Knocked a little out, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's what I did in Baldur's Gate this week.
All right.
I did when I did Shadowheart's quest in Baldur's Gate 3. My cheat code was having Karlach with the Tavern Brawler feat. Because then she can pick up medium-sized creatures and smaller, which is like humans and smaller, and throw them at other humans. And so she just kind of goes on a rage and is just picking up all the enemies and throwing them at the other enemies. And so then they're prone, and so your other attacks have advantage, and you can wipe them out pretty quick.
I'll have to remember that on my second one because
this game sounds insane.
I love it. I just, I don't know. Like I said, obviously I've been playing it since like February, and I'm still can't stop playing it. So apparently it must be pretty good. So, and it's not entirely because of the wizard. So don't even get that all started. Just part of it.
No, I think one of the things about Baldur's Gate that it does make it actually quite the game is all the little things that you don't realize you can do or you can kind of play around with. Because it's an isometric game. typically speaking, you kind of think of those as like the environments are fairly static. There's not a lot you can do outside of what they want you to do in the game. But
Right.
this game has a lot of kind of open-endedness to it, and it's not overly obvious, I think, as you're
No.
playing it. But once you start to experiment, you're like, holy crap, there's a lot
Right.
going on.
And that was my problem when I went through it. Well, this first time is I just kind of did the stuff they popped up on the screen, and I didn't really explore a whole lot. And then the second I'm going through, oh, hey, I didn't do that the first time, or I didn't find them the last time, or whatever. So it's been fun. So, oh, and I did find the hag again for the second time in Baldur's Gate. All this time that I thought the pirate woman and the blushing mermaid was hitting on me, come to find out she was the fucking hag. So that was a little gross. But anyway, I digress. It's weird.
Just gets a little more creepy every time.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's bad enough she was hitting on me to begin with, and then come to find out she was the hag that I killed the first part of the game. I'm like, oh god, that's weird. So,
all right,
yeah.
I'm going to take us in a different direction. I'm debating. I think we're going to go with Mark, because I think multiple games on Mark's list will tie into both myself and Mr. Matthew. So, Mark, let's start with you next.
Right, yeah. So I've got my gaming mojo back as well. So I've been completing games finally. So I finished Avowed recently. Now I've started Titanfall, which I mentioned last week, because I was rusty at coming back to podcasting. I didn't do a good job explaining it, but yeah, I've completed Titanfall now. Finished it.
You've completed it.
Right, I've completed it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's about 20 hours long compared to 40 odd hours of Avowed. So it's not as big a game, but I preferred that. It's just a perfect sort of like length of game. So for those who haven't played it yet, it's a beautiful game set in the north of England in the Lake District area. There's some great voice acting, some great northern accents, which sort of like I have an affinity with. So there was a lot of like connection there. It's just an amazing looking game. The story's really good. So the premises was this like atomic power plant, and unbeknown at the time, or beknown, we don't know. The government's secrecy on it is incredible, but there's something underneath a power plant, this unknown entity thing, called Oberon. And something goes awry with it. It sets off the power plant, explodes, and there's all this fallout, and the soil's contaminated, and it's affecting people. So yeah, so that's the sort of premise behind it. So you got to try figure out the mystery of it, the sort of like the cover-ups, the conspiracies. There's multiple endings to it as well, depending on what path you take. Now, I mentioned briefly last week about the quests. So this doesn't have your traditional quests like your normal RPGs. There's not quest givers. What you do is you find leads, which like telling you where the quests are, and you can have multiple leads to the same quest, and then when you've completed that, on the screen you see all the different leads get crossed off, ticked off on your journal type thing. So I found that quite different and interesting, a different sort of like way of doing it. Like I said, it's a good length. The weapons in this game are pretty good. There's 3 tiers to them. There's rusty, stock, and pristine. You don't get the pristine weapons until quite near the end. Well, I didn't in my playthrough, because you need certain items and certain things done to allow you to upgrade the weapons.
So,
but
quick question.
Even in rusty state, they're quite powerful.
Quick question. So, and Mr. Matthew, I believe you've played this as well, so we can pull you in on this. When you're talking about weapon upgrades, is it merely like, your shotgun and you've got rusty, pristine, I forgot.
You've got rusty, stock, and pristine. Yeah.
Okay.
So the basics of it is to make a stock weapon, you need 2 rusties.
Okay.
To make a stock.
2 rusties make a stock.
Stocks.
2 stock.
Yeah,
make
you
a
do
pristine.
2 rusties, 2 stocks to make a pristine.
Now, this is my question: Are they customizable, or is it pretty much like you just getting 3 options of shotgun?
No, it's very basic. Yeah.
Okay.
The weapon is the weapon. You can't do anything to it.
Okay. All right.
Now, I did find a weapon early on in the game, and I stuck with that weapon all the way through. And it's a bullpup rifle, automatic rifle with a scope on it. And I pretty much use that throughout the whole game because it is the best rifle. Apparently, and right near the end, I found a stock one when it was too late. But I have not managed to get 2 stocks to make a pristine. But apparently, I've seen online, someone's had a pristine one early on in the game. So, but was people speed running this game in 30 minutes? So God knows how. But yeah, the weapons are good. There's different areas. There's about 4 different locations plus the main interchange, and each area's got its own like type of enemies, and they've used different types of weapons. So in the woods, Casterfell Woods area, there's druids, and they like to use bow and arrows. And the bow and arrow is quite good to use. It's quite a powerful weapon. And obviously, you got the silent stealth aspect of it.
Okay, so actually, now this is a question. So you're talking about different types of enemies. So
yeah,
is this like a stalker kind of monstrous type enemies, or is this more just like bad clans?
I've not played any of the stalker games. They're mainly all human enemies. Okay. There is one other enemy, 2 variants of one other enemy, which are affected by Oberon, and these are thralls and some other sort of like thrall thing. So there's your basic thralls are like these blue glowy plant things, and these humanoid things who are blue with glowy blue eyes are like stuck in them, and when you disturb them, they'll like go and break out of this blue plant and come after you.
Sorry, what do they do?
I repeat that.
They go.
And then later on in the game, there's some guys in like hazmat suits with glowing eyes, and they're the main thralls, and they are a bitch to take down. They take about 4 or 5 shotguns to the head, and ammo is scarce in this game. So yeah, they are tough. Oh, yeah, and then the robots.
I learned the scarcity of ammo the hard way. I went in. Right out of the opening area, went into this little outlaw cave, and I was getting like Fallout vibes. So I was like, all right, I gotta go get some loot. And I quickly expended all my ammo and had to clear the rest of that cave with just bare knuckles. Yeah. Yeah, just
there
like
are quite a lot of melee weapons, as knives and machetes and stuff, and they're quite effective. And
they are.
Yeah,
they're very effective on you as well. That's one of the things that.
Oh, you die a lot.
Yeah. You know, when you play most games, the player character is usually a little more powerful, particularly in the opening areas than the NPCs. But I don't think that's the case in this game. You can die real quick.
Yeah.
If you're not careful. So
I learned the hard way to save often. So you'd have to replay quite a bit.
Does it auto save at all, or is it hard?
It does auto save. Yeah, it does auto save, but I found the hard way that sometimes the auto save can be like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and
it's
in
a
2 or 3
double-edged
minutes
sword
you
too.
can do a lot in an area.
Yeah, my favorite is the auto save like right before you're gonna die.
Right as you die. Yeah.
Yeah, right as you die. It's like every time you come back.
And there's a few puzzles in the game. There's like electrical switches where further on in the game you acquire this device. I won't spoil it for Chris, but you need this device to turn some electrical switches, which then opens new areas. So there's that like going back to an area aspect of it as well.
Okay.
But it's really good. I really enjoyed it. And for the entry price of Game Pass, I thought it was amazing value for money.
Mr. Matthew, are you also playing this on Game Pass?
So I am also playing this on Game Pass. I don't know that I have a whole lot to add on top of what Mark had to say. I do like the play anywhere feature of it. So you can play it on your PC, save, quit, and then I can go downstairs and sit on my couch and play on the Xbox.
Yeah. I did that with Avowed as well. That works well with Avowed. Yeah.
Yep. So that's a nice feature of the PC Game Pass. But I'm intrigued. I've only spent a couple of hours with it. I've just got to like the kind of village. You kind of go into the opening area, and at the very top of the opening area, there's a little village where you meet some soldiers,
When the village,
yeah,
that's quite humorous. That's the hilarious part of it. Some
I
of
was-
the comments and like we're just walking past some of the guards. Some of the stuff I say, it's quite funny.
Yeah. Something went wrong with the Xbox and the audio messed up while I was in there. So I got to load it back up with I'll load it back up on the PC and see if it fixes it.
Have you met Molly, the first trader you can trade with?
Yes.
The first time, like I just defeated a lot of outlaws, and I came across her. I didn't realize she was a trader, and I was sneaking up. And if you sneak up behind him, you can do a takedown. And I killed her straight away.
Oh no!
I mean, afterwards, I thought, oh shit! I need to trade with her. And I need information, so I reloaded a save.
Yeah,
that's funny.
No, luckily
killed her by accident.
I knew she was the trader because I talked to the guy with the guitar right at the
yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, Molly, she's a trader." I was like, "Okay, cool." Yeah, the inventory, you've really got to manage your inventory tight.
Yeah, you've only got like 12 slots and you can't upgrade it.
Yes. Yeah, it's not like weight based like you see in a lot of games. It's
configuration based.
Yes. And it's like one item, so you can't carry like 3 bandages in a stack in one space. Each bandage takes up a space. So you really have to manage your inventory carefully. Yeah.
Not the biggest fan of that kind of inventory, but
you get used to it though.
Well, I was gonna say I also kind of, I don't know. Maybe I actually prefer that better than the I can stack 10 of one item in one spot, because then I just start collecting everything.
Oh yeah.
And there's no currency in this game, so when you go to the traders, you actually barter with them. So you don't exchange any money or anything. So you got like the weighing scales in the middle, and you got 2 columns. So you will like see something in her inventory. So you might see some ammo. So you drag the ammo across, and then the weighing scales will tip into her favor, and you have to then put things from your inventory in to balance it out, and then it'll say, "Yep, now you can trade."
Interesting.
Yeah, so you might have to put 2 shivs in. When you start being able to craft, you can craft a lot of shivs quite easily with string and something else, and then you use them to sort of like barter with Molly and get ammo that way. That's what I did.
Huh. Well, that's good.
So, so it's quite a unique way of doing it. There's no currency at all.
We can make shivs with string.
String shivs.
Yeah, string and something else. Can't remember what it was. Scraps, metal scraps. Yeah.
Oh, don't give me some metal scraps.
There's no knife box in it, Greg, so you'll be all right.
What else, Mark?
Right. So today, like an hour before the podcast, I fired up my Xbox because I didn't have it installed on the PC, and I finally finished Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. What a fantastic game that is. What an absolute
my game of the year last year.
It's just like playing an Indiana Jones movie. It's so good. And graphically, it's just so good. The voice acting, Troy Baker does a brilliant job.
It is. Okay, so Kim or Chris, have you guys played Indiana Jones at all? Okay, so Mark, we'll just talk amongst ourselves. I did find as I played it more and more, there were times where I was hearing like I could distinctly catch Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Like but what's funny was the visuals of the character. It's meant to be Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
But when I was catching Troy Baker's voice, like kind of coming through, and I was looking at my character, I'm like, kind of looks like Troy Baker.
But yeah, the facial animations and effects and the motion capture is spot on. Like even the bit where you can unlock a perk where it's called the Lucky Hat. So if you get downed, if you manage to crawl to your hat and put your hat back on, you get a second wind.
Yeah.
And it's when he puts the hat on and he just looks at the camera and smirks. It's just the first time I saw that, I just laughed and I thought, yeah, that's Indiana Jones. But yeah, it's so good. But some of the puzzles are quite interesting. Some are quite. You have to really think about it. They're not massively complicated like some games, so they're not brain busters. But yeah, they're quite good. Some of them use light projections on mirrors, and some use like puzzles. The last ones you have to do like a game thing to get all these things to point to the right direction.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed
say, I did have to cheat a little bit on that one. In terms of getting the things to point in the right direction, because at first I wasn't sure if that was what it was asking. And then once I got the general gist, and this is, kind of along what you're saying, Mark, is all the puzzles in this game, ultimately, I don't think are going to, you'll get them. You'll figure them out. If you don't want to wait, you certainly can look up a guide and kind of cheat your way through it. But the puzzles are just hard enough that you feel satisfied when you solve them.
Yeah.
And you don't think they're too easy or too difficult.
Yeah. There's quite a few water type puzzles where you have to redirect water. I really enjoyed them. And there's some like optional ones which are like side questy ones where you put cogs on things. I never did any of them because I couldn't find enough cogs.
Oh, you've missed out. There's a whole cog quest. And by the way, Mr. Matthew and Miss Woods, we are not looking to run you off. We are just merely talking about one of the greatest games of last year that you absolutely should be playing.
It's the key word there, Greg. Last year.
You know what?
It was only just last year. It was December when it
just
came out.
releasing on PS5, so it's new this year.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, it's on PC Game Pass as well, Chris. And graphically and audio, it's top notch. Absolutely brilliant production levels.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if I want to get this on Game Pass or if I want to get this on Steam. And the big driver there is, of course, being able to mod it.
Yeah.
I'm looking through Nexus right now to see. Looks like there's lots of optimization fixes, a few retextures to give you better resolution. I'm not seeing anything that's really game changing on there, so I might play it on Game Pass.
I haven't actually played it on PC. Like I said, I've only played this on Xbox, but it looks amazing on Xbox as well. And because I've completed some games, I don't know why we have never had this. And it's my fault because I set the Discord up, but we haven't got a Victory Achieved channel. Joysticks and Chill did. They jumped on our bandwagon with Victory Achieved, and they've got a Victory Achieved channel where you can post in when you complete the game. So, needless to say, we now have a Victory Achieved channel in our Discord. So, apologies it wasn't there sooner, but we have one now. Right. So when you complete a game, stick it in there because we no longer do the competition on the podcast.
Yeah, will you get the jingle when you stick it in there?
I'll have to work out if I can. When we post something, you
not
shout
if you're
out,
careful.
Victory achieved. So yeah,
I want to say I didn't sound like that, but maybe I did.
Yeah. A little bit more of Sniper Elite Resistance. I'll just briefly cover this because I've not done that much more than last week. So this is a stealth-based sniper game, but you can go balls deep into full-on combat, which is.
Let's talk about this. I've been playing a lot of Sniper Elite.
Right, okay.
So
yeah.
I feel like the title of this game is completely inaccurate because you're not really a sniper in this game at all.
I've used the assault rifle more. At the end of each mission, it gives you like a description of your thing, and I'm all out assault me.
Yeah, I'm like it's more commando. So I get the name Commando's taken, but
it's a Nazi murder fest. That's what it is.
It's Nazi murder fest. That would have been a great title.
Yeah.
I've been very much enjoying this game.
Yeah.
This has been the basically what I've played all this week has been Sniper Elite outside of the multiplayer stuff that we did.
So each level's got its own like little objectives in the level. Are you completing all the objectives before you extract? Because I have.
Not all. Like the first couple, I did not.
Yeah.
This last level, the train depot area, just you'll know what I'm talking about. I did, and so I very much have become a murdering. I like tossing the distraction, having them walk over, and then just walking up and stabbing the shit out of them. And I don't care if it's from behind or they'll like turn the corner and I just shiv them up in the neck. I mean, it's my jam. There's something satisfying about it.
The first couple of levels, I used to hide the bodies. Now I just booby trap them with a grenade, and it's just hilarious watching them blow up.
There is satisfaction to booby trapping the bodies. Or other things. I mean, this game has a lot of variety in terms of how you can go about accomplishing your tasks. The one thing is once you get spotted and you get into combat, it can get a little nuts if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And my tactic
That's why
is
you,
just
that's why yeah.
run.
That's why you play on Mark mode, because then they lose interest quicker. There's less enemies. Mark mode, for those who don't know, is easy mode.
Well, and what I found,
thanks to Kim, that
when you get spotted, if you try and just run, like flat out run, they'll kind of be able to track where you go.
Yeah, because it leaves.
You're making noise.
It's like Assassin's Creed. When you leave an area, it leaves a little spinny triangle,
right?
And that's where they will look for you, where your last known location,
right? And so if you sneak away from that area, your location gets marked where you were. If you run and haul ass, because maybe it's I've gotten into a couple of heavy encounters where I'm like, I just need to get out of here. That little marked area just follows you to wherever you go next and stop. Yeah. And so I kind of found out the hard way. I have to just be patient and kind of crawl away. I also do forget that you can go fully prone in this game, which I do love. More games need that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Sniper Elite
Resistance. And the X-ray shots never get old.
No,
you never get tired of seeing them. It's just hilarious.
Guys, all his dentures completely out.
Oh, so with the new graphics card, right? So on NVIDIA, you've got shadow play, so you can like save clips and stuff.
Okay.
And AMD have got this. I didn't know this. So in the AMD Adrenaline software, you can save replays and all this lot. Brilliant, just like NVIDIA's. And I saved a clip. I'll have to post it. I need to edit it down. There's a guy in a sniper tower miles away from me, and I took a sniper shot, and then it goes into slow-mo, and it shows a bullet spinning through the air, right through this guy's eye socket, right up back of his skull. Oh, absolutely awesome. So, yeah, really good. Really. I haven't done a nut shot yet. I know in the previous Sniper Elite games, you can do nut shots.
You absolutely can do the testicle shot.
Yeah, you can do the old Hitler's only got one ball shot. Yeah. But yeah, that's really good. So yeah, worth a play.
Ken, this is your next game, by the way. You go from your trolloping within Baldur's Gate to nut shots in Sniper Elite.
Yeah. The final game I've played, I've started a new game, or another Game Pass game. They're all been Game Pass games lately, and I've played this on the PC, not on the Xbox. Still Wakes the Deep. So this is like, and it's a shortish game. That's why I picked it. I wanted like a bit of a filler game before I take the plunge and maybe start Baldur's Gate. And so this is only about 5 hours long, according to How Long to Beat. But this is like a story-based, not a walking simulator, because there's a bit of action, but it's like a horror survival game. And it's set on an oil rig in the North Sea. So again, a lot of northern accents.
I remember
Scottish
this.
accent. Yeah. It's not a newish game. It's quite a few years old.
Right.
But yeah, so this oil rig is drilling in the North Sea, and it hits an anomaly in the sea, and all hell breaks loose, and it releases an entity. I don't know what it is yet. But so you've all seen, because it's an old film now, Stephen King's The Thing, set in the Arctic Circle. Think The Thing on an oil rig, and that's what you get. You've got these big fucking heads walking around with these big fucking legs, and it's gruesome and it is gory. And I've got a few clips of that I'm going to start sharing on the Discord. So yeah, it is freaky. It's intriguing. It's got me hooked. It's visually, oh my God, the graphics on this, the oil rig looks photorealistic. It's like you're on a fucking proper oil rig. It looks like it's a movie. It's that good. It was the graphics. Character models
the screenshot of the oil rig with the fog there.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah. I didn't realize it's on this. Yeah. So yeah, it's freaky. But yeah, the oil rig graphics are amazing. The character models not as much, but you can allow it for that. But yeah, the atmosphere is great. The tension. There's a lot of sneaking about, so you don't get spotted. You have to throw things to distract these things. To make a move to get to things to do. There's quite a bit of puzzling and parkour and platforming. Right. So I'm halfway through. I'm about 2.5 hours in. There's a few jump scares, but yeah, so far loving it. So yeah, that's another great Game Pass game. So Game Pass is killing it for me this year. I nearly didn't renew my Game Pass last month, and I'm glad I did.
given the amount of games Microsoft is now first party games that they're launching into Game Pass, I feel like Game Pass truly is kind of there's enough there. Enough there.
Yeah, there's two coming out shortly. There's one, oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. It's that one with the girl and the creatures, and she gets. I can't remember what it's called.
Now you're gonna make me draw a blank. But anyway, it's coming out this week, actually.
Yeah. Let me just get Game Pass up really quick.
I was just looking at it earlier.
This is good TV and a good podcast.
Well, so why don't we do this? While you're thinking of that name of the game, we'll go to Mr. Matthew. Oh, actually, before we go to Mr. Matthew, Kim, we've had a few shatters. I want to give some love to the shatters. You're on mute, Kim.
South of Midnight. That's it.
Yes, South of Midnight. Still on mute,
That
Kim.
looks really good.
Mr. Matthew's also muted.
That's because it's not my turn.
Okay, well, so I'm just double checking. I'm like, is this a widespread thing? But Kim is definitely muted. She's just, she doesn't want to talk anymore, apparently.
It's because we've run them off with Indiana Jones.
I know.
This is peak. This is peak.
I know. So we'll let Kim figure her mic out. We'll give some
live
love.
troubleshoot. Live troubleshoot.
We had Boomer Corazon 06 in the chat. So I want to give
a name I've not seen for a while.
I know. I want to give some love.
Back to the old over 35's days and G4TE.
He, by the way, agrees. Testicle shots for the win.
We also had Lord in the chat.
Yes,
he was up there for a little bit. Welcome everybody.
A fella Yorkshireman.
See, Mr. Matthew, this is why we need you on the show. You catch everything that drops. Unlike the microphone issue, that is something we'll have to sort out for Kim. We continue to look at her in amazement that she has been so quiet. She's like a stealthy cat.
She's gonna give her report on what she's been playing through interpretive dance.
Yeah. Well, we pretty much covered what she's been done. It's just doing. Really, at the end of the day, that's what she does is do. So
Kim's sign language for Baldur's Gate 3 is.
No, Mark, no.
Oh man.
Sorry.
All right, Mr. Matthew.
I'm not going to be on the audio podcast.
I know we've talked about a few of the games that you have been playing, but let's talk about the rest.
We have. Speaking of really new games, I dusted off No Man's Sky this week. So this
intrigued me.
This came out in 2016.
Yes.
And I just, it's one of those games that I spent a lot of time on during the COVID years. This was I'm in a phone call meeting that I don't really have a lot to say in game. And so I would just put it on my PC next to my work laptop and do that. But they keep updating it. Hello Games keeps adding new features. And so I wanted to try out, they've added a mode they call Expeditions. Which isn't new. They're on like the 18th one. Okay. But essentially what Expeditions does is you go to kind of the multiplayer hub area and you start the expedition, and it even warns you. It says, hey, you're basically starting a new game here. You'll be able to come back to your old game with some rewards if you complete this expedition. I was like, all right, cool, try it out. And so it adds some new life to the game, because otherwise I've kind of done most of it, right? Built the big bases, upgraded the ship, found all the things and stuff. And so it gives you some very specific tasks that you might not otherwise bother with to go do. And it just throws rewards at you. So I would say if you're I don't want to spend too much time on a 9-year-old game here, but if you're thinking about ever playing No Man's Sky, start on an expedition, because basically what it does is it accelerates the getting all your gear leveled up. Like otherwise you'd spend 20 or 30 hours just leveling up your gear. It just gives you all the things as sort of quest rewards. But I enjoy this game. It's really chill. Just kind of plug it in, go do some exploring. There's a lot of players still playing it. The other thing the expedition does, if you just start a game, if you just fire this up and say new game, it puts you at some random spot in the procedurally generated universe. And if you just follow your own adventure, you may never see another player.
Yeah.
going on the expeditions, you'll see a lot more other players because they're also doing the expeditions, which are all on the same planets.
Okay.
So yeah, I give it a shot.
All right.
I'm gonna cover the bottom of the list very quickly and then come back up to the new game.
Fair enough.
So Helldiver, I know I've talked a lot about Helldivers 2. What I think they're doing really well is the Galactic War. If you pay attention to it, they build up to a lot of, it's a game. You're not doing anything really meaningful. It's a game, but they build up to make you feel like you had an impact on the game. So just this last week, before I started playing the game, apparently there's a planet called Malevolent Creek that all the player base talks about. Like it was so difficult. We spent so many weeks trying to capture this planet. And so the major order this week was to protect that planet, and the devs just launched an all-out assault on that planet. And so the battle ended up actually being a couple, basically on the path to that planet. They can't just go straight to that planet. They kind of have to follow connected planets, if you will. And so it ended up being on this one planet where all the new enemies that had been developed for that front all came on the same planet, and the whole player base, it seemed like, I would log in and there'd be 50,000 players on that one planet. And you still get your mission with just you and your 3 friends, but it just, it was a lot of fun.
And I'm assuming the success of you in your little mission adds a percentage to the success of the global galactic team.
Yes.
It reminds me a lot of, do you remember Chrome Hounds?
I don't think I ever played Chrome Hounds.
Yeah.
Chrome Hounds. I love so mech game, first of all. Bonus.
All right.
It was back on the 360.
There's mechs in Helldivers too.
Keep talking. But yeah, so it was back in the 360. You would customize these mechs, and then you would go in with a 3-person team battling another real person 3-person team. And depending upon which faction you were associated with, you would, contribute to winning the planet or the area. So
this is similar. Only you're always with Super Earth, right? And then there's the 3 enemy factions are all controlled by the computer. But it was just fun. It was one of those where when we got done with it, you could be like, okay, now I got to be part of something that all the Helldivers of Reddit are going to be talking about for a little while, so it was a good time.
I did think of you, by the way, because I saw that Starship Trooper came out.
I may have to go check it out.
It's basically Helldivers 2, just not as good, I think.
Yeah, probably. Licensed games are always a roll of the dice. Sometimes you get Indiana Jones, and sometimes you get just a list of other licensed games that weren't great. Superman. Yeah, Superman Returns. That one wasn't great. Let's see. Real quick on Cyberpunk, dusted that one off. So good. But I really think we need to have a way to skip the prologues. So if you've played Cyberpunk, I don't remember when it came out. It's been a few years, so I'm going to spoil the first 4 hours of the game for you. It's hundreds of hours long. You're not really losing out on anything. But you basically go into Night City and you gear up for this one big heist. And at the end of the big heist, your kind of wingman dies, and then you kind of learn what the actual story is going to be about. I don't need to do that again. Cyberpunk 2077 is good enough that I'll play it again. I'll make different decisions. I'll build a different character. But I really need a button that says, I know how to play the game. Let's skip to the end of the prologue when the game opens up and I can actually play it and launch me from there.
I feel like a lot of games do that. Cyberpunk, unfortunately, did not.
Yeah.
And I don't quite know why, because, like, to your point, it's the same mission. There are 3 different factions that you have to pick when you start up. I think it's 3. It might be more than that, but there's a faction you associate with, and based on the faction, the intro sequence is different.
Yeah, how you get in the city.
Right. Yeah. But then it's all the same from there. And so I agree with you. There should be a way to be able to skip past that.
Yeah. But I love the game. I'm gonna keep playing it every now and again. We had some fun with Black Ops 6. We talked about that already. So I just today I started Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I would have put more time into Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I was too busy fishing in No Man's Sky, because they added fishing because everything has to have fishing in it now. So I've kind of played through. I've met both of the protagonists. Spent a couple hours on it in sort of the first. I'm in sort of the first infiltration mission that you get, and what I will say is, looks absolutely amazing. They keep what the Assassin's Creed games have started to do, I think, is really capture the look and feel of the location. The thing that I really loved about Assassin's Creed Odyssey was just hopping through all the islands in ancient Greece, and that teal water, it just kind of made you feel like you were there. So this game introduces something new-ish, where you have two protagonists, and I'm gonna butcher their names, but I'm gonna do my best. You have Naui, who's a shinobi assassin, and you have Yazuke, who's a samurai. So Naui is more stealth-based character. She wears robes. She doesn't wear armor. She's much more dodging attacks and attacking from the shadows. And Yazuke is a brute force. Wears the samurai armor. Just kind of chops through hordes of enemies. And I have to say, I prefer playing as Naui. I just feel like that's more Assassin's Creed, sneaking around, jumping from the shadows. I was playing through the mission, and I had some assassinations, and I was able to hide. I was hiding the bodies, and it reminded me that you can't hide the bodies in Star Wars Outlaws, which is one thing that was missing. I had a lot of times where I got caught because somebody would stumble upon a dead stormtrooper. It's like, oh well, now we're blown. I was reading on the week about yellow paint, so I haven't encountered this yet, but I'm interested to see. So one of the things is the game is so lush with the environments that I guess in play testing, a lot of players were having a hard time finding the path, finding how to get where they're supposed to go. And so the devs added just these random splashes of yellow, like this railing is painted yellow to tell you that you're supposed to climb it.
Mirage, didn't they?
I never played Mirage, so I'm not sure. I skipped that one.
I feel like that's a pretty common thing, though, isn't it not?
It is. It was all over Star Wars Outlaws, which is another Ubisoft game.
In Indiana Jones, it's white. White ledges. Yeah.
I don't mind it, because one thing I do hate is staring at the screen, not knowing where to go. It's like, all right, now I'm frustrated.
Kim's back.
Hey Kim, you're back.
Figured it out.
So I haven't played. I guess I've played the Assassin's Creed games all out of order, so I've completely lost the bubble on. They have the kind of the running present day subplot that started with Desmond Miles, and it's Abstergo, and I have no idea what's going on there, because I played Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 in order, and then whatever the second one was after that, and then I never played. I've started 3 but never finished it. I did Odyssey, and then went back to Origins, and then went back to Black Flag, and then So I have no idea what's going on in the
on the good news front. I don't think Ubisoft knows either.
They probably don't.
No, because it seems like
I got an interloper behind me.
I didn't want to say anything. A random person sneaking up behind you.
Thank you. As he's playing Assassin's Creed, there he goes.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. There we go.
Now, if that was at my house, Greg would be worried they were going to murder me.
I don't know why my 12-year-old just brought me $20. So.
Nice.
Hey, there you go.
Kids bringing money. I like it. So one complaint I have with the Assassin's Creed universe, and it's funny because it's a good and bad thing. I love that they have gone hard and really evolved the simulation of going back in time to these different realms. I do think, though, that the initial story of Assassin's Creed, which was this tie into present day, was so unique and so awesome. I really wanted them to do more with present day, tying that in. and I feel like they've completely gotten away from it, and it is such a side element to the games now that they barely put any time into it.
The early Assassin's Creed games, I loved the Desmond side of it. It was intriguing. It was new. It was different.
Right.
And we just killed him off and dropped it, and
right.
And then Black
Spoilers,
Flag
Mark?
was
Spoilers.
It's 10-year-old, isn't it?
I mean, I always thought they were going to go somewhere with the fact that like maybe you were being sent back in time to keep history on track or something like that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the old show that was on that they jumped back in time all the time? And he was stuck in
Sounds
this
like
loop.
Quantum Leap.
Yes, Quantum Leap.
I remember
Quantum
it
Leap.
was Sliders
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. So that's
but yeah.
my one complaint about Assassin's Creed. It looks great, and I do love the time period pieces, but I do wish they would come back to the more present day stuff.
Yeah.
They keep doing the Abstergo stuff, don't they, in the games? But it's just so sporadic, and there's no depth to it.
Well, and in
Like,
Black Flag, you were like,
They
you
were
were
trying
like
to find
working
people with the memories, didn't they?
it was almost like an entertainment thing. Like they were making it so you were finding memories that other people could experience. And I feel like it's probably out there. There's probably someone who's put it together on YouTube where you can watch a 10-minute video that will explain the whole thing, and then maybe I'll feel better about it. But I prefer the actual game, you know, being in ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, feudal Japan, you know, whatever.
I can't disagree with that, just because they've recreated it so well. And I remember Origins. I want to say they were like real heavy on the authenticity of the universe they created.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
And I don't know that they've necessarily stuck to that in the more recent iterations. Yeah. Also, Kim, maybe this is a game for you. There's romance options.
Well, I've got Odyssey and Valhalla, and I haven't played those yet. But yeah, who knows? I'm not very good at stealthy though. I'm terrible. I'm terrible, and much like real life, I'm terrible at stealth. So
I found in Odyssey and in Origins, at least, the stealth was a lot more forgiving.
Yeah.
Because you had there's like the tall grass you can hide in, and it's just all over the place, and you're basically invisible when you're in the tall grass, which is hilarious
because you're completely visible.
And well, especially in Odyssey, because you're wearing, by the end of the game, you're wearing shiny gold, you know, armor from Olympus. Yeah. But you just take a knee in the grass, and where'd he go?
Sniper Elite, by the way, Resistance has the same thing. You're
all right.
You know, crouched in tall grass. Your entire upper half is out of the grass, but nobody can see you.
Yeah. Same thing in another old game I dusted off today was The Outer. I'm gonna get the name wrong because there's one is an old TV show and one is a video game. The Outer Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
I dusted that one off today. Another Game Pass game. That one's a lot of fun. Made by Obsidian, who are the same folks who made Fallout New Vegas. It's not very long, but it's an entertaining kind of Western sci-fi thing. I played it almost to the very end once, and what happened? Like my hacking and stealth skills were like just too low that I couldn't bypass the final boss, but my combat skills weren't good enough that I just kept getting killed by the final boss. But I liked it enough that I just decided to start over. So there you have it. That's me done.
Okay. So this actually made me think of it. Corazon was talking about the first leap of faith in Assassin's Creed. He's like, you know, I still remember the first leap of faith I took on 360. So Assassin's Creed, I know they you know, you pretty much every Assassin's Creed, you go up the big tower and then you make the jump from there. But and the name of the game is escaping me, and it shouldn't, because I absolutely freaking loved all three games. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I loved the first game and the third game. It was the police game where you were modifying. You were the superhero cop. Somebody you leapt all over the place. You collected orbs.
Man. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Crackdown.
Crackdown.
So there was the achievement for going up to the tallest point you could get to and
The
jumping
edge of
off.
the tower. Yeah, and going in with a little swimming pool.
Yeah. And I still remember doing that jump and literally getting that very like real feeling of like I'm falling to my death. Anyway. All right. Excellent. That was good stuff. It's amazing how much longer this show is with 4 people.
I know, right?
I'm like, okay. So we'll do better, people. We'll try and keep things moving along. And speaking of moving along.
All right, now everybody get settled. Get away from the windows. Now look, good. It's time for the quiz. Yeah, you know what? Oh, too bad. Tough.
Mr. Matthew. Not Mr. Matthew, Mr. Marcanix.
No.
Mr. Mark Wright. You have the quiz this week.
Yeah. So I have picked some games which are, this is a themed one. It's not, they're all in the same year, they're different years, but I picked the theme of British-based games. So all these games are set in Britain, with it being the Overseas Connection. I thought it was quite apt, really.
All right.
So I'll start with the oldest one and work my way forwards on these. The first one, I'm sure Chris will love this one. So the first game this was based in London, and I played this, and this also had 2 different switchable characters, Chris. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And this is the Xbox One version. Came out in October 2015. You played Jacob and his sister, I can't remember her name, and I really enjoyed this one. So this was set in London and Assassin's Creed style game. What do you think this got on Metacritic? So, who wants to go first?
I think, Mark, you just need to dictate this. My suggestion would be whoever goes first this time is going to be the person that goes last on the third game.
I've lost my pen as well.
I volunteer as tribute.
You volunteer as however you need to, Mark.
Well, if Chris wants to volunteer, he can go first then.
So this one, 2015 is in what I call the dark ages. So if those of us who've been through the adventures of parenthood, you know, there's that time when you just don't have time to do anything but keep kids alive, and that was during the 2015 was right in the middle of that window for me. But it's an Assassin's Creed game; those always do pretty well. So I'm going to say 80.
Right, and next we'll have Kim. Chris says 80.
85.
Kim says 85. And Greg? Did you ever play that game, Kim?
I did not.
No.
So Syndicate.
Again, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. So as I recall, and I think Mr. Matthew was onto something here, there's a I'll call it a inverted bell curve for Assassin's Creed, and Syndicate was right around the time. It was between Syndicate and Unity, I think it was.
Unity was the first one on the next gen, which was the Xbox One, and that got slated for its bugs.
Yeah, okay. So that was like they had the dip, and I think Syndicate was kind of coming back out of it. I'm going to say 83. I'm going to go right between 83. The two of you.
Right. You're all very close, but Chris is the closest. He actually got 78 on the Xbox One. So
the downward part of the bell.
Yep.
Coming out on the up.
Yeah.
And Lord says that he thought Evie was the sister's name. So
Evie, that's it. Yeah. Well done, Lord. Evie was his sister, and again, they both had different abilities and weapons and that. But yeah, I really enjoyed that game. Right, the second British-based game is a newer one in 2020, and it was Watch Dogs Legion. This was also set in London, and I really enjoyed this game as well. Another Ubisoft game.
I was going to say, is this a Ubisoft quiz or is this a...
yeah, no,
right?
Ubisoft.
Yeah. Now, Legion, interestingly, I believe, doesn't that tie into Assassin's Creed? With the...
don't know.
God, what the hell is the name of the technology stuff for Assassin's Creed?
Abstergo on that.
Yeah, Abstergo.
The Animus.
The
Animus. I thought it had a tie into all of that. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Who's going first?
No, I don't
I'll go first. Legion. I'm going to say 86.
86.
Okay.
Greg?
I'll go next. This way, Mr. Matthew, we keep some progression here, and you can prices right all of us. 86 is good because I don't think Legion was overtly great. So I'm gonna prices right Kim a little bit and go 87.
87. And Chris?
So this is another one that I'm not familiar with, but that's okay.
Apologies, I forgot to mention this is the PS4 version. Sorry.
PS4 version.
Well, that makes
But-
a lot difference.
That changes.
There's a bit of a difference. Sorry.
That changes everything.
There's a difference of 6.
Was this a sequel to the other Watch Dogs, or is that?
Yeah, Watch Dogs 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah, those were pretty good. 75.
Right. So now the Xbox One version did score 76, but the PS4 version scored 70.
Oh.
So Chris was closest again.
I feel like this is a race to the bottom.
I think it's that. I think it's the controller. I think the PS4 scores lower because of the controller. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So Kim has a +9, and Greg has a 70. Right. Okay. So the final game, and this is a very new game because I've just finished it. Atomfall, and this is the PC version. So this came out this year by Rebellion Games. Atomfall on the PC. What do you think that got on Metacritic?
I suppose I should go first now.
Yeah.
Atomfall for PC. I am going to say I'm going to go 78.
78. Right.
The PC side of it is throwing me off a little bit. I know the console version got some critiquing, but I don't know about the PC side.
Right. Not much difference, but yeah. Chris?
I'm a big fan of this game. I think the PC version, at least the Game Pass PC version, is pretty clean. 85.
85. And finally, Kim?
80.
80. Right. So I've played this on both the Xbox Series S downstairs and mainly on the PC. And for some reason, like the Xbox One gets a 76. That's Legion. Sorry, the PS5 and the Xbox Series get a 75 on consoles. The PC version gets a 73. I thought that'd be a lot higher. Yeah, 73 you got.
Yeah, I knew it was catching. It was catching. By the way, catching some strays on the bugs, crashing, that kind of thing. But I thought they fixed it. But again, early review scores. Yeah.
So Greg was closest on that one. 73 is that +12. Right.
And the winner that will get
and the winner
absolutely
is
nothing.
All right. Well, if you talk for a little bit, Greg, I can work it out.
Well, I can talk, Mark, quite a bit. That's my main job in life. We will be talking news next, just as a preview for everybody. But do we have a winner, Mark? Do we have a winner that will win absolutely nothing other than notoriety and infinite fame for a
Chris
moment?
had a difference of 21 points over the 3 games. Kim
solid.
had 30. So Chris is in the lead. And Greg, you had 17 plus. It's going to be close, is this? 27.
Mr. Matthew pulling out the win.
I thought Greg was going to have it. I was pretty far off on the last one there.
That last one, yeah. But the second one, I think, did it for you, Chris, because you were only 5 off, whereas Kim and Greg were 16 and 17 off.
Yeah.
Oh, just a quick bonus one. Forza Horizon 4.
Well done. Oh, I love Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah, that was set in the UK.
That was One of the things that we did when we were in the UK
Yeah.
was we went around and found some of the landmarks from the
Locations,
game.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Which version are we talking about, Mark?
Xbox, because it all came to Xbox originally, didn't it? When it was released.
Okay. Who would? I suppose, Mr. Matthew, since you won, you should go first.
All right,
It
all
should be
right.
reverse order. I'll go in the middle, and Kim will get the prices right. deal.
I feel like this is going to be in the high 80s, so I'm going to go with 88.
88, right? Okay.
That's a solid score, and I think you were on the right pathway of thought there, Mr. Matthew. I'm going to say 90.
Right. Okay. Kim.
87.
87. Greg, you were the closest. It got 92.
92.
It deserved 92 because it was a brilliant game.
Yeah, I remember it was received very well.
Yeah. We had some great community nights on that.
All right. Well, from the news quiz to the news.
Today,
Or not.
Here is the fucking news.
This is probably what everybody actually wanted to come to the podcast to listen to, and we have like literally talked for an hour and 50 minutes about none of this.
Right.
However,
Well,
the Switch 2 was officially unveiled. I should say officially unveiled. All the details were unveiled. All of the stuff that we wanted to know, price, launch date, all the little bits and bobs that might impact us as gamers, all got put out on display this past week. And so we have all of the info. I highlighted it all, put it into a nice little outline format, and I'm just going to run through it. We could talk about components of it as we get to them. Feel free to say, hey, let's talk about this, or I don't care. First of all, the release date. It is coming on June 5th of this year, 2025. So just around the corner. Typical Nintendo fashion. Mark doesn't care, I know. I see it. I was actually shocked that it's launching in June.
I've just seen the price. Definitely don't care.
Yeah, I kind of expected this to launch holiday, but then again, Nintendo marches to their own beat, and I don't think they typically launch in holidays, as I recall. I could be wrong, but so June 5th. Anybody interested in the Switch 2 as far as a purchase possibility?
not at the moment, no.
Yeah. Well, for the US people, there's a good reason for that, and we'll talk about that next. So the Switch 2 will be starting as of the announcement at $449.99. So $450. Price includes the system, a pair of Joy-Con controllers, the Joy-Con 2 controllers, I should say, the Switch Nintendo dock, ultra high-speed HDMI cable, an AC adapter, and other controller accessories, which I don't know what the hell those are.
There'll be the thing to bridge for two. I'll give a the middle bit, I presume.
And then also, they have a bundle, which it will include a copy of Mario Kart World, and that will sell for $499.99 US, in quotes. International pricing for the Switch 2 currently set at $469.99 for the euros, and for the British pound sterling, it is $395.99. What is that? Pence?
396 quid. Yeah.
That's
a lot of
if
money.
You happen to live in Japan, you're talking about a small portion of the yen, 49,980 yen. It just sounds like a lot. Now, as soon as they made this announcement and they gave the prices out, they immediately halted pause on U.S. pre-orders because the U.S. tariffs were all announced. And so now the thinking is the actual U.S. price might go up. So they halted pre-orders. We shall see where this all falls out. We don't know as of yet. It is a steep price for a Switch. Or at least it feels steep. I don't know.
So for those that care, I just did a quick check. So if you take 396 pounds sterling, that comes out to about $575 US.
We're getting ripped off in the UK.
Well, now, if I remember right, that includes your VAT, right? Like that's the price at the register.
Yeah.
So if you take the $499 for the US bundle, let's just call that.
Tax on that,
we'll just call that $500. That's about $540 after sales tax. So it's you are paying more, but not as much more as it looks like.
Yeah.
Just and we're probably going to pay another more on top of that, right?
Yeah. They think it may add another $40-50 onto the price tag with the tariffs now. So I'm sure that will get passed on to us. I don't see Nintendo not passing that on to us.
Well, not us. I'm not buying one.
Although, I mean, it is backwards compatible. They did confirm that. So, I mean,
well, that's something anyway.
That is something. Yes. So it does feature the detachable Joy-Cons, much like the original Switch. They attach magnetically to the console this time instead of the rails. So that's a kind of a difference from the previous version, which I want to say is a better thing because apparently the magnets are fairly strong. And I know with the rails in the previous version, I think they would tend to wear down, and so they got a little loose.
But can you imagine holding each Joy-Con where you switch in the middle and you're getting a bit angry with a game, and then all of a sudden you've no switch and you've got just two Joy-Cons in your hand because the magnets have give way? There must be some sort of locking device.
Yeah, I think there is like a magnetic lock, for lack of a better way to put it.
You'd have thought so.
I will just say, Mark, control your anger.
My patience is gone now. I'm getting older.
Mario Kart can be a game that induces some rage. Some rage.
There may be plenty of rage on that game. There's a new square button on the right Joy-Con. It's called the C button. I don't know if we've figured out what that is yet. But the Joy-Con also features a small optical sensor on the inner edge that allows it to work like a mouse. And so games like, I believe, the new Prime game that will utilize, so you can literally aim like a mouse you would on PC. The console features a second USB-C port on its top, like the one on its lower edge for charging and connecting to its dock. So now here's the big change. Mario Kart World, $80.
Yeah.
$80 if you buy it by itself.
If you buy it by itself, $80. In the bundle, it's $50. But this seems like a new pricing strategy for all their games moving forward, which is not something we necessarily want.
Nope.
And I'm getting pinged from the other side of the world asking me how much longer we're going to be. Yeah. Okay. $80 for games. I'm kind of out on this. Not happy about this.
Yeah.
I could have seen a $10 increase, but $20, that's steep. Switch to the screen is now 7.9 inches, which is bigger than the original 6.2 inches. So I guess there's that. The new display also got a bump to a 1080p resolution from 720p from before. Supports variable refresh rate and up to 120 hertz. The system supports HDR10. When docked, the Switch 2 can output resolutions up to 1440p at 120 hertz and 4K at 60 hertz. But that's when it's docked. Switch 2 has 256 gigabytes of flash storage, considerably more than the original Switch, which had 32 gigs. It can be expanded with an SD card and supports up to 2 terabytes of micro SD express card storage expansion. Battery life will last roughly around 6.5 hours, depending upon the game you play. And Nintendo has confirmed the Switch 2 game cards won't always carry an actual game and will instead sometimes carry simply what they call a key card.
Ooh.
So basically that will give you a key to download the game onto the system. And I think, and that's an interesting one. I can only assume that's because maybe the key cards themselves can't hold as much data that
but
some
you can
of these
imagine
games
Imagine a mum who's not into gaming buys little Jimmy a Switch for his birthday, then we go on holiday, and we're going to a shop and buy him a game, and he puts a game in, and then he has to download it, and there's no means of connecting to the internet. That's not going to go down well, is it?
No. But again,
because these are going to be there's going to be more kids with these than adults. I guess I don't know.
I mean, do any of us actually own these games? Do we? I mean, most of the games these days, you put the disc in, and it still is making you download a bunch of crap.
but we know that, don't we?
Yeah,
we know that.
Jimmy's going to earn a tough lesson in life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. Matthew?
I was agreeing with Mark.
I mean, Mark is right. Don't get me wrong. I just like playing a little devil's advocate there. But yeah, I think that's going to be kind of a shock to a lot of people that they're like, they put the cart in and the card's like, yeah, no, you got to download the game now because there's really nothing here. That's going to be disappointing, especially if, not that it's Christmas now, but you imagine at Christmas time, a lot of kids are going to be getting this and they're going to be like, oh, I'll play the game right away. No, not happening. Okay. Last but certainly not least, they did announce a handful of first-party games and showcased an even longer list of Switch 2 games from third-party partners during the Nintendo showcase that was just the week before. Although I think they're going to have another Direct in April. They're going to show off more games. But what we know, first-party wise, Mario Kart World. So this is interesting because this is taking Mario Kart, bringing it into an open world, almost like Forza Horizon. Will feature a huge roster of racers and up to 24 competitors per race. And, again, this open world design where you can go off track and just cruise around. I am very much in the mindset of this is their Forza Horizon. Mario Kart style.
Right.
Donkey Kong Bonanza will be coming in July. Basically stars Donkey Kong in a new 3D action-adventure game that's all about digging and destruction. Sounds awesome. Kirby Air Riders, sequel to the GameCube game Kirby Air Ride, and is once again directed by Super Smash Bros. Creator. Oh, I'm going to totally butcher this. Masahiro Sakurai. I think I got that right, actually. I'm noticing nobody is saying anything about we could care less, apparently, about any of these games. Drag X Drive. This sounds like a game pertinent to today's times. And sorry.
I've just read the description of it. Oh, my God.
Sports game based on wheelchair rugby, a.k.a. Murder Ball, that shows off the mouse and motion control capabilities of the Joy-Con 2 controllers. That's a weird description. Yeah.
Yeah.
Murder Ball's a pretty intense game, though, if you've ever watched it. It's, yeah.
Wheelchair rugby or Murder Ball?
Well, that's wheelchair rugby is called Murder Ball.
Yes.
And if it sounds like you're thinking wheelchair rugby, how cool can that be? But it's they're like slamming into each other. I don't know that they're necessarily allowed to knock each other to the floor, but it's a pretty violent game. It's pretty interesting to watch.
Okay. I will have to keep an eye out for that. I didn't even know that was the thing. I've seen like wheelchair basketball. That seems more appropriate. Rugby. Okay. Then again, you're tackling the ball, not the player. That's what rugby's all about. So there's that.
Yep.
Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. This is an interesting one because this is very much like the PlayStation 5 when it first came out. They had the Astrobot.
Yeah.
Game.
That was really good. That.
Yeah, and it was. I'm trying to remember. Was Astrobot was just a pack-in, right? It came with the system.
Yeah. Well, Astrobot started in PS4, where they showcased a controller. Yeah. So it used to go into your controller, you used to shake it, and you could hear him coming out of a speaker and that.
Yeah, and so, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour is a similar thing. It's a virtual tour of the Switch 2 hardware presented like a teeny tiny museum that you have to pay for. This is not a pack-in. You literally have to buy this. I do not understand that at all. this feels like pack-in hardware or software just to kind of get you familiar with the new system, but apparently Nintendo thinks they're going to be able to sell that. And last but not least, the Dusk Bloods, which is a new multiplayer action game from the developer From Software and exclusive to the Switch 2. It has a strong Bloodborne vibe to it, apparently.
That might be the game what sells that system. There's a lot of From Software diehards who love the Dark Souls franchise.
Successor to Bloodborne.
So that might sell the system.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting if they kind of position it as a successor to Bloodborne, because God knows everybody on the PlayStation side has been asking for a Bloodborne game.
Bloodborne 2, yeah.
And
I
Sony
love
just
Bloodborne.
is thumbing their nose at them. So, and apparently some GameCube classics also coming to Switch Online. But yes, that was the general gist of it all. Obviously, none of us are moved by this. I don't think any of us are.
Not terribly, no.
The GameCube classics, I threw that in there. That's the best feature that I've read about so far. There were some good games on the GameCube that have yet to be ported into the future. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, I will just say this. This is probably the least consumer-friendly hardware launch from a Nintendo standpoint, just on paper at least. And maybe, this all goes out the window and everybody loves the system and it's going to be just fine. But I definitely had a very negative vibe on this announcement coming from the vast, masses that I saw from a social media standpoint. Again, social media is a bit of an echo chamber, so who knows? But I have a feeling this is not going to be quite as great a launch for Nintendo as they thought it was going to be, or at least when it was originally all planned out. Now, tariffs aren't going to help that. But there's some weird choices within this overall. So anyway, I'm sure Mark or probably Mr. Matthew, you probably are the one that's going to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 out of all of us. Let's be honest.
Out of all of us, I might be the one, but that's still an outside shot.
All right, fair enough.
Definitely won't be me. I've never bought tell a lie. I bought Jenny a DS, a DS, a big one, back in the day. That's the only Nintendo hardware I've ever bought.
I have purchased. Well, no.
Actually, we had a Wii, but that wasn't mine. That was my son's.
Yeah. I did have an NES back in the day. I did not buy that. I also was a mule for Robin. I bought multiple Switches for him,
Switch
for
lights,
his kids.
Yeah.
And so he bought them in the U.S. and had me put them in my suitcase and bring them to him. So I feel like I have contributed to some kind of illegal activity, but beyond that, I've never purchased anything Nintendo. All right, Kim, we're going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Let's talk some video games.
If you feel like it must.
Coming out next week.
Alrighty, so your new releases for April 6th through the 13th are Cursed Dawn for the PC on April 7th, Descent on Mars on the PC on April 7th, Burden of Command for the PC on April 8th, Loco Moto for the PC on April 8th, one that's also coming to Game Pass, South of Midnight, which is the one I tried to yell at Mark earlier, but my mic didn't work. Yeah. South of Midnight will be out for the Xbox Series X and S and PC on April 8th, also Game Pass. Commandos Origins for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, not Switch, PC, April 9th. I don't know where the hell Switch come into, probably because we just got done talking about it. Drive Loop for the PC on April 9th. Crashlands 2 for the PC, iOS, and Android, April 10th. Now, this one I didn't know they were having, and I kind of played around with the first one. So, Monaco 2 for the PC on April 10th. I think, what was it? What is it? What's yours is mine, or something was their tagline. But anyway, they have a sequel coming out April 10th. Monster Energy Supercross 25, the official video game for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on April 10th. Promise Mascot Agency. I don't know what this is about. Mascots, I assume. For the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC on April 10th. I guess you'll find out then. Star Overdrive for the Switch and PC, April 10th. Steel Seed for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on April 10th. Willow Guard, also for the PC on April 10th. And Traveler's Refrain, maybe for me to say, Traveler's Refrain for the PC on April 11th. And those are your new releases. So there you go.
There you go, indeed. Steel Seed, I'm just saying. Odd title.
Yeah, right. Well, kind of like the mascot one that I don't know.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Also, I really hope it's based on the year 2025 because Monster Energy Supercross 25. If there are literally 25 of these games, that is a crime to humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
But remember, it's the official video game. There's no knockoff here, so you know.
Fair enough. All right, we are at that time. We're going to start wrapping things up. Thursday night, apparently, we're just doing away with Tuesdays. Thursday night, Halo, Modern Warfare 2, ACC. Help me out. ACC.
Is that a Corsa?
Oh yeah, nobody cares about that.
Nah.
Just kidding. Love you, Robin.
Potato. Oh boy.
Yeah. So Thursdays, 8 p.m. in the UK, 12ish West Coast. I'll do my best to be making this. It's tough though with the new job. I'm getting pulled in a lot of different directions, but I'm going to do my best. I think it'll settle out. I'll be able to square in my hour of time. But right now it's been a little up and down on the Tuesday, Thursday thing. Femme Fatale Fridays. Mark, are you back into running this?
I think I'm going to try and resurrect this. Then Kim can carry it on in her time zone, so it can be a bit of a double Fatal Friday, can it?
Oh, good try.
Because Kim was doing
like
it
that.
on
like a
Kim
relay race.
Yeah, Kim was doing later. I think Kim was doing 8 p.m. her time, which is like 2 a.m. for me. So yeah, might be a double Fatal Friday.
Yeah, because I couldn't get anybody in the afternoons, so.
Yeah.
Although doing it later at night didn't seem to help either.
Like
so,
double
anyway.
feature Fridays.
On the Fridays, it's only been like Snoogans and Jay, and just recently Chris has been joining in for some Helldivers. But I actually played with Snoogans. Oh, I'll do that in my shouts anyway. Sorry.
We don't talk about Snoogans on the show. We're not allowed to.
Yeah. He had some words about you, Greg. You don't play games anymore. Saying you don't play anymore.
You know what? I prefer.
Well, we
to
played
play...
COD the other day, so I
Yeah.
mean,
people without aim bots. I like to play with those people. I'm just saying. All right. Like, subscribe. Do the thing the kids do, people. The more we have your support, the more we will be able to continue on our Terra-free and Patreon-free show. You can always email the show, but honestly, don't. Just contact us on social media or just join the chat live. Send us a Discord. That's the future. And really, it is going to be our future. We're going to start testing the Discord stuff. Maybe not tonight, Mark. Just saying. Just
No,
because
it's too late now.
long.
I'm usually in bed for 10:30 now. I'm getting old.
It's Chris's
Jesus.
fault. It's totally Chris's fault.
It's my fault.
See, look at that.
Blame the moose.
Blame the moose. The moose in the corner.
Moose in the corner.
The moose outside should have told
There's
you.
a moose loose about this hoose.
What was that from?
Scotland.
Moose outside should have told you.
What?
Oh, Lampoons, National
Oh,
Lampoons.
from vacation.
Yep.
Sorry,
There you go.
folks.
All right, shout outs. Kim, start.
All right, I'm going to shout out our shatters. Just give me a second here to pull the list up because, I don't want to forget anybody. We've had Boomer, Lord, and Corzon in our chat today. So thanks, guys, for dropping by. And Corzon actually dropped into our Discord. So, hey, look at that. So maybe it is the future after all. Shout out to you guys as always. It's nice to have a full house once again, even if it is a longer show. But I like it. So, and maybe one of these days I can actually take a break and not feel guilty and leave Tank Top here, just go talking to himself. So anyway, I hope everybody has a good. All right. I hope everybody has a good week, and I will pass you over to Mark. So take it away, Mark.
I want to shout out Overclockers UK for sending my graphics card in a speedy and timely fashion. It arrived in excellent condition and decent price. So yeah, happy with that. First time I've used them, so I'd recommend them. And also to Snoogans and Jay. They were playing last night and they dragged me into some online gaming, which I've not done for a while. So at first we played some PUBG on PC, but they play first person. Oh God, that is so hard.
It was a dick move.
Yeah. was shocking on it. And then after that, they made me download Delta Force, which is a Battlefield-like game, free to play on Steam. That is one fucking insane, batshit crazy game. I'll tell you. You think Battlefield's crazy? That is just insane. I died a lot. It was like playing Call of Duty. But yeah, we had a laugh. I got used to it a little bit, not much. But yeah, I'll talk about that in future if I play it again. If I don't delete it, it pissed me off a bit. But yeah, that's me. Over to Chris.
All right, I'm gonna shout out the Full House. It's been fun being back here, and it's nice to have everyone in. I'm gonna shout out the people that will eventually come and fix the heat in my house, because that's gonna be great. And thanks, Nicole, for the Discord question. Always nice to hear from the future. So jump over to the future, leave us a question. We'll do our best not to make such sarcastic comments about it. Let's see. So I guess that just leaves Greg.
That just leaves me. Corazon, we also miss the old days. I'm just going to say that now. A shout out to Amazon, because I ordered a Amazon tablet at 11 a.m. in the morning, and by 1:30 it was delivered to my doorstep. The future is Amazon, apparently. So yeah. Shout out to the three of you. Thank you guys for joining. It's been awesome having Mr. Matthew back and Mr. Wright back. And truly having the overseas component to this also is nice. So there we go. I am now being summoned to become an Uber driver for Uber Eats. My wife has ordered a burger just now, so I'm going to go and get some food.
Should have ordered it from Amazon.
I
I got it in an hour.
Yeah, I'm bad at Uber. I'm just saying. Okay, we'll be back next week. Come join. We might be able to shorten the show up a little bit if I don't talk as much. So that's probably for the best. Thanks, everybody. Come back. We'll be back next time. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same